After a week in lockdown, WA football is back, and on a big note as we zoom in towards Fremantle Community Bank Oval for our round 5 match of the day here on Front Row Screens, and it is the top side, Subiaco, looking to go 4 from 4, and they'll be going up against South Fremantle, the home side, who are a win clear in 5th spot ahead of West Perth and Pure Thunder. Welcome to today's coverage of round 5 of the WAFL. Thanks to OPTUS, Paul Persick with you in the commentary box, set for another big Saturday afternoon of football. And wherever you may be across Western Australia, we're glad you can join us on Front Row Screens for the next 2 and a bit hours for what is going to be a sensational game. I'm joined once again by Joel Sarasis. Joel, a very good afternoon to you. It's a big game ahead between two finals contenders, and for Subiaco looking to continue their perfect run for the 2021 season.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Paul. Really looking forward to this clash, and don't South Freo always deliver with their crowd numbers. I was struggling to get in the door today. There was that many people streaming through, so great to have footy back, obviously, after last week's lockdown. Really looking forward to this matchup. Two pretty evenly matched teams, you'd say, Paul, in terms of the way they get the ball forward and can score quite heavily. Really looking to have a look at Jordan Ferrone, 21-year-old out of Harvey for Subi. He's really shown so far this season he's got what it takes at this level. 8 goals this year. Looking forward to having a look at him. From South Freo's perspective, Brock Higgins, massive in for them, especially for his work, not just from the taps, but also around the ground. He can use his big body to get the ball going forward for them. If you look at his couple of games, 48 hit-outs in round 1, and then 39 in round 3, which was obviously now 2 weeks ago because of the lockout. So big plays there for both sides. Really looking forward to how this one unfolds.
It is going to be a cracking game. But depth on both sides is always going to be quite vital in this as well, because Subiaco have got a couple of key players back from injury. But of course, the man is everybody's chasing, as you just saw on your screen there, Gregory Clark. But Mason Shaw up forward. He's been in form inside that forward line. He's kicked a couple of bags of goals in the first 3 rounds. And there you see Gregory Clark on screen. He kicked a big bag with the 11 marks and 37 touches against West Perth. He is one hit that can stand and deliver with the ball with polish and discipline, especially in those crunch situations. But from a South Fremantle point of view, they have got a rumoured 2 big outs, Nicholas Subin and Dylan Main. It looks as though they're going to miss this game. What a big blow that would be for South Fremantle.
Yeah, absolutely. Subin around the midfield clearances, that's just huge. He's a big body, experienced body as well. Not so much, the skill, but the smarts and the direction to his players around him as well. But, I mean, you're back in South Freo's on-ball division. Hayden Schleuf, Matty Parker, to get the clearances and the ball going forward inside 50. You back them in majority of the games they play. So, not too worried about that aspect for South Freo, but the big one is Main. That's huge just for the leadership around the ground, and also to see how the other players step up into that position. And you mentioned Greg Clark from a Subi perspective. 8 tackles that game. That is just huge, isn't it? Especially inside that forward 50 and around the ground. To throw your body around like that, 8 tackles is a huge output from a big man.
Brock Higgins, as you see on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, is a begin after last game against Peel Thunder over in Pingelly. He is a man, like you said, that not only does well with the ruck taps, but also a lot around the football. In the round 2 game against Claremont that we were at and called for Front Row Screens just over a month ago, he was a guy that certainly got outmatched around the football, but he's also got a couple of players that he has to contend with from a Subiaco point of view. He's got Lewis Putt, the new ruckman. He's only played 3 games of WAFL League football. He's going to be a tough one to battle, but also he's got guys like Harrison Marsh and Lee Kitchen. They're going to be doing a lot of the hard work, roving the ball and getting those vital centre clearances in, and that's where I reckon the matchup could be decided. Centre clearances and where your supply on the scoreboard is coming from your midfielders into attack. These players from both sides certainly hold the key.
Absolutely. Thank God we're in 16:9, Paul. Brock Higgins hardly fits in the screen.
Yeah, he certainly does, a little bit based on his size and height on the screen there, but he's going to be a big, immense factor in this game. We'll take a break, but when we do come back, all the first half action from Fremantle Community Bank Oval in our round 5 match of the day. It is South Fremantle looking to get a win back against Subiaco, looking to go 4 from 4. Back with all the first half action after this.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn, and no sales gimmicks. Visit shutterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Fremantle Community Bank Oval for our Round 5 match of the day here on Front Row Screen. South Fremantle, the reigning premiers, up against the premiers of 2019, Subiaco, here at Fremantle Oval. A star-studded clash is in store. Now, during the break, the toss was conducted. South Fremantle won the toss and are kicking towards the council end, the right-hand side of your screen in this first quarter. No real breeze to speak of. It's a bright day around the early to mid-20s and no real breeze, so no excuses for goal kicking this afternoon.
Absolutely perfect conditions, as you can see there on your screen. Subi getting ready and really interested to see what they come up with here today away from home. You were mentioning what will win and lose this game earlier, Paul. I said to you earlier that just South Freo being at home, I really like what they bring here in front of their home fans. I was here in round 1 against West Perth, and it was really that home ground advantage that got them over the line in that fourth quarter. They were just unstoppable, so hopefully they can play some free-flowing footy here today, and really curious to see what Subi bring to counter that. It's going to be a great clash.
I reckon it's going to be a really high standard of footy. I mean, plenty of movement around the football. I reckon both teams will look to spread out the play and impact the scoreboard on a consistent basis. Bounce of the ball about to get underway. Your tips, first of all. Joel, who's going to take out this one here today?
I'm going with South Freo with zero confidence, Paul, but South Freo is my tip.
Well, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Subiaco to maintain their unbeaten record, but I reckon it's going to be a very close game this afternoon. And for the viewers at home, anywhere around Western Australia and around the world, we're glad you can join us on Front Row Screen Sport, the number 1 in 2021, with winter sport well in full swing. WAFL is back after the lockdown, and we certainly hope that you can join us throughout the 2.5 hours here at Fremantle Oval. We've got the premiers of 2019 against the premiers of 2020. The first game here for the team since that great grand final between the Bulldogs and the Tigers last October. It's going to be Higgins and Lewis Putt to do battle at the first centre bounce. We are underway. South Fremantle up against Subiaco in our round 5 match of the day. Good bounce by the umpire. Higgins favoured by the tap. Putt dispossessed. Higgins overruns it, but he gets it back to Putt. Now Subiaco got control of the ball alongside the centre circle. It's down at ground level. Well played there in the end there by Strom. And there's a free kick being found. In fact, there's not. The umpire says, give it to me, in fact. First quarter, all thanks to Shutterguard. Schleuf dispossessed, but he was caught high. Free kick will go the way of Schleuf. Plays on immediately, gets the hand pass to the outer wing. Mascos loops it over the top, a delayed hand pass. The tackle brilliantly applied there by Walters, and it's a dispossess in favour of the Lions. Punched away to the advantage there of Ferroni, who tries to dribble it in towards the goal, but to no avail. South Fremantle intercept possession through Thompson. The hand pass comes close to the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Great pressure from Subi early away from home. That's what you got to do. And Brock Higgins immediately, he won that high free kick out of the centre, and that's the issue with such a big frame. You got to find a way around him. So high free kick going his way because of it.
Throw in about 40 metres out from Subi's goal. Delahunty in front, wins the tap. Kitchen, hand pass comes out to Harrison Marsh. He's close to the boundary line, goes with the left foot, won't make the distance. And a fine mark taken there by Kai Barker. And Kai Barker will set it up now for the Bulldogs. He's going to kick it towards left half back. Big pack of players flying on it. And a fine mark taken. Uncontested there, Glenn Byron. He gets the hand pass out. Byron gets it back. Centering kick. Finds Schlensog, who was in the team of the week back in round 3. Great work from centre half back. And now the Bulldogs get it out of that defensive 50. Goes only as far as Pearson. Pearson gets the hand pass out, a looping hand pass down towards the outer wing. And over the line again by that big section of fans for a throw-in. That's what South Fremantle would want to do. Spread the play out as much as they can and catch Subiaco off guard, because they like to play that direct football.
Great addition this year, Schlensog, out of Geelong from the AFL. He's been fantastic at half-back for them.
Into the first couple of minutes of this opening quarter on the Shutterguard scoreboard. Higgins loses the tap out, and now Subiaco again. Got numbers around the football. Hand pass comes out. Kennedy backs it forward, but only gains about 5 metres. Huge pack of players converging. And another stoppage. It's on the attacking side of centre for Subiaco. Gregory Clark among one of the sweepers in that centre contest. Schleuf backs it forward. Running onto it there brilliantly there was Jacob Miller. But he's out-muscled in a one-on-one there. Players converging. One of them there was number 9 there in Cody Ninyet, who's pushed up the ground. And now Subiaco with another intercept possession. Kick is a disappointing one. And he's manned by Higgins. Pearson, beautiful hand pass in the end, finding Abbott. Looping it over the top towards half forward. And again, those numbers out the back for Subiaco, enforcing another turnover. And now they're on. The kick is towards the centre circle. Higgins in front. Mopped up in a good tackle there by Powell. What's the umpire going to do? I reckon he's going to call holding the ball. He is.
Could see him circling there, ready to call that one,
You
wasn't
could
it?
always tell when the umpire's slowing down, but Powell claims it alongside the centre circle. He kicks towards the outer wing. Good spoil in the end by Schleuf. Stainsby dispossessed, but he gets it off in time to Delahunty. Hand pass back to Stainsby. Sends it long towards left half forward. One-on-one, spoil in the end. Front and square there was Harris. Harris, he goes to the right foot. In fact, that's Martin from 45, and he puts it through for the first goal of the afternoon. Nicholas Martin sidesteps from just inside the 50 and gets the first goal on the board for the Lions.
What a kick from Nick Martin, the Naranda product. That was incredible. Didn't even look like he had enough time or space to get a shot away there, but not only did he find that, but the precision of that kick. Look at this, just off a couple of steps, bang, straight through. Great kick.
Great composure there from Martin as well. After that sidestep, he had a little bit of space that opened up to him inside that forward 50 and had the vicinity to go for it long and get the first goal on the board. As we're in the 4th minute now of this opening quarter. Just the start thereafter is Subiaco wanting to lock that ball in that forward 50 as much as they can to put the pressure on the Bulldogs.
Leading goal kicker last year, Nick Martin, and showed it there. Second year at Subi, his 8th game for him today, and what a goal that was to kick things off.
Subiaco leading by a goal well into this opening quarter. Delahunty and Higgins. Delahunty gets the tap out. Ball's in dispute. Big pack of players. Handball received by Schleuf. He goes with a long spiral punt. It's punched from behind, but there's a holding on, and it's going to go the Bulldogs' way. And it'll be taken by that big full forward there, Mason Shaw, who was held onto, and he'll have a shot for the quick response. Well, in fact, it's Miller, I should say.
And see what Brock Higgins brings from the centre clearances perspective. Already 3 touches for him.
So Miller from about 48 metres for the quick response for the Bulldogs. Drop punt on its way. And it's just across the face for a behind. Not the response they were after. But now they're within 5 points into the 5th minute of this opening quarter thanks to Shutterguard. And Subiaco will look to reset this one through Lockyer. Lockyer's pass finds Chat Harris. Harris is going to drop it in short. Good mark to Walters on right half back. Again, they're going to move it on very quickly. But out in front there was Pearson. Great play there to punch that one forward. Delahunty at ground level. Fine effort there by Hickmott to get the ball out of the congestion. Walters on the outer wing with the short pass. And reeling that one in brilliantly there was Aaron Heel. Quick short pass. And again, lateral movement from Subiaco. Spoiled in the end there. South Fremantle have the turnover. Barker, the hand pass comes out. They're out of that defensive 50, but only momentarily. With the intercept mark, Heel. He's going to drop it in short. An absolute shocker. And goes only as far as Ben Rioli. And now South Fremantle can move it on out of that wing. And it's a mark. On left half back for South Fremantle, it's Pearson. Pearson dropping short. Good mark there to Cam McCarthy. McCarthy down the line, no mark. Umpire calls play on. And there was a holding on. Free kick will go the way of the Bulldogs. And it's Jimmy Miller. Miller. Long probing kick towards the forward 50. Out in front there, Kyle Stainsby with a good mark. They've got some good marking players for the Lions, and it'll be vital for them to outmark the Bulldogs today. Johnson is going to send it out wide. Just falling short there of Harrison Marsh.
Right up until then, Subi, we're really happy with their ball movement so far. You're seeing them back in their kicking abilities, and they've really gone from one end to the other quite easily. South Freo in that midfield group really need to stop that ball movement, but from a Subi perspective, they'll be really happy with that so far.
The throw-in, 55 metres out from goal. Higgins snatches it out of the contest. He gets caught hard there by 3 Lions. And another ball up. This time it'll be right on the 50.
He is a man mountain, isn't he?
No doubt
Like
about
Higgins.
it. Higgins, clean tap out there. And another stoppage. They only gained about 1.5 metres. Only 1 goal scored thus far. Nicholas Martin in the 3rd minute. And we're into the 7th minute. 8th minute, I should say, of this opening quarter. 1 goal plays 1 behind. Subiaco leading against the reigning premiers. Again, the stoppage game frustrating Subiaco here. And vice versa, because South Fremantle have not made any territory in the last 3 passages.
Yeah, haven't been able to get their running game going as yet, South Freo.
Higgins, good pass, finding Pearson. Puts boot to ball. It's inside forward 50 for the Bulldogs. 1-on-1. Overrunning it there was a couple of South Fremantle players, and also Caleb Datson. Sends it over the line. No doubt very good to have WAFL back after the Anzac round postponed last week because of the lockdown. It's also good to have crowds in. Higgins to Delahunty. Higgins almost pushed out of it, but Delahunty gets boot to ball. Big spoil there in the end there by Harris. Rioli not going anywhere further with that tackle, and the umpire says, give it to me.
You mentioned Datson a bit earlier. He's one of the late inclusions here today. Played round 1 and 2. Rezzy's last round for them a few weeks ago in round 3. So interesting to see how he goes today.
South Fremantle looking to hold on to it as much as they can. Again, boot to ball there. That was by Higgins. Inside the forward 50. Datson overrunning it. Can't take clean possession, but he was pushed out of it. And it's going to be the free kick going the way of George Vessels. There was another laid in, of course. A couple of big outs that we mentioned earlier. Vessels sets it up to the hotspot. They'll contest about 10 metres out from the goal square. No contest, Strong. No mark taken. Was he caught high? Yes, he was. That was another South Fremantle player caught high in that possession. And the free kick will be taken. And that is Matthew Parker, a former Saint. Only 19 games for St Kilda. Parker swings it round and gets the response for the Bulldogs. They take the lead by a point, 7-6. 10 minutes into this opening quarter, thanks to Shunagard. Matty Parker took the risk and saw that no one else was paying attention and decided to snap it round the corner himself.
Great snap there from Matty Parker, averaging 21 disposals a game this year, and he's been a great inclusion coming back to South Freo, and hasn't really hit the scoreboard too heavily in the opening couple of rounds, so that'll be good for him early on. From a Subi perspective, they have brought intensity at the opening of this clash. You can see that around the ground, laying lots of tackles, but 2 there, just a little bit too intense. They gave away 2 free kicks, which resulted in that goal. So whilst coaching group will be happy with their intensity, just got to reel it in a tiny little bit. 7 tackles they've laid so far.
Well, both their scores have resulted in free kicks as well, with that one behind a Miller and also that goal just now to Matty Parker. So they don't want to be undisciplined even when they're up against the reigning premiers at Fremantle Oval. They can't afford to do that, have any lapses of concentration. Delahunty and Higgins. Delahunty in front, but the ball's not going anywhere further. A good team tackle. And the ball will be thrown up alongside the centre circle. We'll go around the grounds at quarter time for some of the other games, because there are a couple of crackers in WAFL round 5. Dragovic goes to ground. And again, another stoppage. Both teams have got a really good running game, but as it's turned out in the first 11 minutes, both teams are looking to contain their opposition's running game. Good tap in the end. Vessels, boot to ball, but intercepted. Touch ball, umpire calls play on. And holding the ball. Dispossessed too late, and South Fremantle will move it on with the advantage. Here's Blencherton. The kick towards the forward 50, and in front Shaw, no mark. Kennedy punched away to the path of Lockyer, who switches the play to the outer wing. And now Subi are on again through Johnson. Johnson kicks towards left half back, and the ball's over the line for a throw-in. It was a good spoil in the end by McCarthy from behind against Matera.
You may not have seen it there, but Jacob Miller left his man as that ball was coming inside 50. Fantastic effort for the 23-year-old. Saw the dangerous position inside the back 50, left his man and applied some pressure. Didn't get a touch or a possession, but still great effort from him to notice where the danger was and leave his man and back himself in.
Subiaco with another clearance here. Clinch got the hand pass out, only as far as Hickmott. Close to the boundary line, but it's just inside, and it'll be another ball up.
And they've definitely come organised here today, Subi, on that point. And I think this stop starts really from their tackling pressure. They're trying to lock it down and stop that South Freo movement.
Johnson tackled by Dragovic, and he's taken over the line as well. But it's a free kick for a dangerous attempt, and that's going to go the way of Dragovic. Dragovic centres it. Kennedy in front, no mark. And again, Subiaco with the intercept possessions and defensive kick outside the defensive 50. And there's a holding on. And it's going the other way. Will go the way of Noah Strom. Alongside the centre square. Goes for the short pass and finds Bleacherton, who's going to transfer play to right centre wing. Schleutz the target and a good mark. 163rd game of league football. Going to send it back inboard and find Vessels. Again, that short chip and run. The hand pass releases Rioli. Sends it to the outer side. 1-on-1. No mark there to Roberts. From the corner, there's Parker. He gets caught in a good tackle and he's gone, holding the ball. Subiaco will get another free kick. And again, it's that tackling in defence, Joel, that is really proving a vital step for Subiaco.
Absolutely, but South Freo are getting their hands on the ball, so that'll impress them, especially in the midfield part.
Over the top, a good mark taken by Strom, but it was touched. Umpire calls play on. Good chain of hand passes, again releases Rioli. The kick out towards Shaw. Shaw can take the mark. It's inside 50. It's been clogged up there. And another ball up. Those repeat entries inside forward 52, Joel. The South Fremantle are really putting the pressure on the Lions. Clearing kick out of the defensive 50. The Lions on again. Hand pass just out of Kennedy's reach. But recovering that one there was Harris. Escapes through the tackle. Looping hand pass. Releasing a couple of Lions players. And they're on again, but the kick is a disappointing one. No mark taken in the end there by Schlensog. The hand pass comes out. Back to Martin. Dummies the hand pass. He's going to snap from 40 out towards the goal square. Good spoil on the last line of defence by Rioli. And Subiaco level the scores.
Great effort by Schlensog to leave his man, but almost caused a goal there because couldn't maintain it in front of him, but good effort to read the play either way.
South Fremantle doing everything they can to clear themselves out of defence. But the intercept mark is taken, and it's taken again by Harris. Dropped it in the end. It's 50. 50 against Miller. I'll have to say he's a bit stiff on that one because when Delahunty it was who dropped the ball and it went to ground, it looked as though the umpire was going to call play on.
Yeah, always got to play to the umpire's call though, unfortunately, and that's that standing rule that we've seen throughout all levels this year really coming into effect there. Obviously, players naturally want to maintain their spot on the mark laterally, but can't do that anymore, so good chance for Subi here.
Delahunty taking his timing, lining them up. This to put the Lions back in front. Goes with the left foot, and he's put it through the middle. Delahunty gets his first, and Subiaco back leading within a by goal. 15.5 minutes on the Shutterguard scoreboard. Subiaco 2-1-13, 1-1-7 here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval.
Really against the play there, that one, because they got out the back, Subi, but they haven't had their hands on the footy a lot. All comers leading Zach Strom at the moment. He's had 5. Jacob Drakovic and Brock Hickens have had 4 each. The midfield group from South Freo are getting a lot more of the footy and working it round, but they haven't hit the scoreboard, and as a result, Subi get out the back, and obviously the 50 bringing that goal, but that's what happens when you don't put scores on the board early, so that'll really impress the Subi coaching group that they've managed to edge in front here from what is essentially a 50-metre penalty, and they've probably been a little bit behind in the midfield at this stage, so good for them.
Got to make every chance count, especially when you're up against a very strong team like the Bulldogs and vice versa. There's the bounce, and the umpire, unsurprisingly, will call that one back. Clash of first versus fifth in the WAFL competition. Higgins versus Putt. Higgins wins that tap down. Dragovic, hand pass there, releasing Strom. Strom kicks towards left half forward to the path of Ninyet. Is he going to be favoured by the bounce? Yes, he will. close to the boundary line. Good tackle applied there by Ninyet on Miller. But the umpire says, give it to me. 2-1 playing 1-1 here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. And Caleb Datson limping towards the outer wing. I'm sure he's okay, maybe a bit of cramp, but hopefully nothing too serious.
Yeah, it looks like he's staying on. He should be fine.
Lions clearing out of that defensive zone. Team tackle, watch out, here comes Higgins. And Parker getting caught in a good tackle in the end there by Ben Sokol. Another ball up. We're in the 17-minute mark of this opening term thanks to Shutterguard. Putt, spiral punt towards the forward 50. Schlensog, good punch away. But the Lions have got the numbers out the back of the football. Martin gets the hand pass out, goes looking for Walters. Walters, hand pass out the back, looping pass. Releasing Harrison Marsh, centering kick towards the forward 50. And a free kick's been taken, and the free kick has been awarded. It was a defensive hold there, an infringement in the marking contest. And it's been taken there by Glenn Byron. Byron kicks towards the attacking side of centre for the Lions. Claiming that one is Higgins, but the umpire says no, play on. And he's brought down on a good tackle. Big effort by Brocky to try and take that one.
I don't know if anyone could have touched the ball when he's at full stretch.
Especially with his wingspan. Higgins taps it out. Rioli dispossessed. Clinch. Caught by Schloith. They're holding the ball. They're not going to get it, the Bulldogs. Umpire says, I'll have it.
Yeah, Subi going forward at this stage don't look too clean entering their 50, but they have had a few chances, so that'll please their coaches, but could probably be a little bit cleaner going for their entries inside 50.
Again, that stoppage after stoppage game certainly wiltering South Fremantle down at this moment because they've got a really good running game on the outer wing, but Subiaco are wanting to try and stop that this afternoon. Walters again, and Schloith. Down at ground level, punt. Has possession, but there's a high tackle. And the free kick will go the way of the Lions. And it'll be taken in the end there by Lockyer. It's going to send it to the hot spot. 1-on-1 contest out the back. Schlensog couldn't take the mark. It's close to the boundary. And it's over. And it'll be a throw-in. And they'll contest about 30 metres out from the Subiaco goal.
Probably need to lower their eyes a bit, Subi, going inside their 50. I mean, you got Schlensog down there. You also got Blaine Wilson, who's a big body intercept marker. So probably better off picking out a target on the run inside 50, Subiaco.
Schloith roves it from Higgins, but he got caught in a good tackle. The Lions wanting holding the ball. They're not going to get it. We're approaching 20 minutes of this opening quarter. Subiaco leading by 6. Again, both sides not being entirely clean with their possession of the ball, as you said, Joel. I reckon the important thing for both coaches to address for their respective sides is how they can tighten up their possession of the football.
Bit of a territory game at this stage, locked inside Subi's 50 here for a big chunk.
Ball's out the back, and it's kicking in danger. Free kick will go the way of the Lions, yes. Matthew Parker not too happy with that one. And the free kick will be taken. I think it's Walters. Max Walters will have a shot for Subiaco's 3rd goal in this opening quarter, and that could be a real stinger for the Bulldogs if he can kick it.
Huge opportunity here for Subi.
So Walters, he'll kick from about 47. In his 69th game of league football, the drop punt on its way, and it's across the face for a behind. 2-2-14. Playing 1-1-7 here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. And the Bulldogs will look to reassess here through Schlensog. Schlensog out of the back pocket, out towards half-back, and a fine mark taken there by Pearson. Pearson from left half-back. Will trip it in short. Find Shaw. Doing everything they can, South Fremantle, to try and ease up the pressure. Mascos from left half back. Forced to play on. He has to get a move on quickly as Mascos kicks to a 2-on-1. And oh, good Lord. That is a nasty landing there as Schlensog took the mark. One of those plays there was Powell, and they are both out cold.
Yeah, haven't moved either of them just yet. That'll need a stretcher.
Powell's one of those players.
Yeah, really big hit. Awkward as well, because on the fall, that's when he got taken through the front, and that's when you're not able to protect yourself. So his own teammate there really took him straight down the middle, and that was a big hit.
Man, it was on the fly as well. You know, Schlensog took a great mark on the fly, and it was in that 2-on-1 contest in favour of the Lions, who had numbers in that. As we see it again on the CD replay, look at that. Schlensog just put the brakes on in time, but left the Subiaco teammates with nowhere to go. Powell was one of them. He's moving, he's sitting down, but he is looking very groggy. But that other Subiaco player, he has not moved and has called for the stretcher. As we take a look at another replay, thanks to CD Dodd. Very nasty incident indeed. The clock has stopped. As we see the kick there by Mascos. It was a good pass, Schlensog with a good mark, and that was Walters by the looks of things, yes. It was Powell and Walters who collided in that contest. Powell's moved, he's walking back to the bench as we come out of that replay, but Walters has not moved.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to lift his upper torso up here, but the trainers are just telling him to lie back down as they try to get him on that stretcher, but they've moved him onto his side, so his head's up, which is good to see. But hopefully he's okay. I can't imagine we'll see much more of him today, especially if the head was taken, and also on the fall as well. If your head hits the ground at that force, new concussion protocols dictate that you just can't risk anything coming back out.
Yeah, so 12-day concussion protocol to add to that as well. So that'll be a big blow for Subiaco.
I mean, if we look at the clash so far, leaving that contest, the numbers are pretty much even all around the ground, Paul, and that reflects in the stats and almost on the scoreboard. Obviously 2 to Subi, but you look at the inside 50s, pretty much spot on even. 8 to South Freo and 7 to Subi. They've obviously taken 2 chances. One was from the 50-metre penalty though, their first goal. So I mean, taking that aside, even disposals pretty much on point, 62 to 57. So they're pretty close either way, and that's I think reflected throughout the whole first quarter here that they've had patches, and it's really a territory game so far. No one's really getting their running game going in and attacking the 50 with any real purpose.
As we see there, Max Walters, I don't think he's calling for the stretcher here. He's getting himself up. He's on his feet on his own with the assistance of the trainers, which is great to see, but he's very, very groggy.
Oh, yeah.
And getting a round of applause from not only his Subi teammates, but also the crowd here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think they're discussing with him now to get back on the stretcher because he can't actually maintain his own body weight there.
And while you're at it here, with this long delay, this gives both teams a big chance to reassess their structure in the final few minutes. Since the clock has been stopped and no time is added on, I reckon it's an important chance for both teams to talk to each other and reassess the rest of the quarter and the rest of the game in terms of what system they need to generate.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see it again there, that's the big hit. And I'm glad that they've called him back there and said, look, just take your time getting off the field, because you didn't want to see him try and get off on his own steam there, and he couldn't even hold himself up. So I'd much rather he get off safely, isn't it, on the stretch as we see there.
Yeah, it's for the players' health and well-being, and especially with the 12-day concussion protocol that is in line with the AFL. As they say, better safe than sorry, and he is not looking well, is Max Walters, unfortunately, in what is an unfortunate accident, really, because both players were going for the spoil. Unfortunately, they were just left with nowhere to go after Schlensog took the mark and moved out of the way just in the nick of time. But very unfortunate incident there. You don't wish to see that on any football ground anywhere in West Australia. But Schlensog, number 13 for Subiaco, Liam Hickmott is coming onto the ground. Max Walters will be taken into the rooms, and unfortunately he'll take no further part in this game. And the clock will restart as Schlensog sends it down the line, and a good mark taken there by Strom. 2-2 playing 1-1. Strom's kick over the head there of Datsun. Rebound possession by Schleuf. Looping hand pass over the top. Out towards Vessels. Breaks through one tackle. Good smother there by Hayden Kennedy. And it'll be a boundary throw.
Zach Strom there finding a bit of space. He's leading all comers at the moment. That was his 7th touch already, and he's laid 5 tackles as well. So leading from the front there, Zach Strom for South Freo.
Throw in front of the members' stand. Higgins tap over the top of Schleuf. It's roved there by Harris, who gets boot to ball. He gains about 35 metres. Harris couldn't take the mark. Looping hand pass comes from Wilson. And now Miller. Hand pass on the ground, almost losing possession. They need to be careful here, the Bulldogs. And they lose it again. Harrison Marsh was in front, but only momentarily. It's on the centre square. Team tackle applied on the Lions, and the umpire says, give it to me.
Yeah, not clean with their ball movement there, South Freo, and that let the Lions in. You can see them swarming. There was about 5 numbers around that contest, so they're really playing with intensity.
Kick comes towards the Subiaco forward line, and the intercept mark taken in the end there by Wilson. Schlenzog from left half back. Beautiful kick, and finds the big man in Higgins. Hand pass straight away out towards Strom. He kicks towards centre half forward in a one-on-one contest. No mark taken, no plays front and square to the football. Swooping in there with Shaw. The hand pass comes in out to McCarthy. McCarthy snaps from 25. He got very loose with the kick. And the ball is over the line. It was taken there by Shaw, but it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Well, there's South Freo for you in a nutshell. Intercept mark at the back. Blaine Wilson and Schlenzog combining, which is what they do. Both agile. Got it up to Zach Strom, who's now had 9 touches in the first quarter. And Brock Higgins out in space as well. Big tank, big player. That's how they move the footy.
Miller, big punch towards the boundary line. Kennedy, kick partially smothered. Vessels taken over the line. And another throw-in. Again, Subiaco looking to contain the ball movement of South Fremantle inside that forward 50 as much as possible. Hence, they've only conceded 1 goal in that opening quarter. But they themselves have scored 2-2. They haven't been clean with their disposal either. Higgins taps it out only as far as Kennedy for the Lions. Gets bundled out by Vessels. Datsun at ground level. The hand pass comes in, intercepted. Subiaco looking to get a move on, but it's cut off by the Bulldogs. Schlenzog is pushed up. Hand pass comes in. Long kick towards the hot spot. Shaw in front. He couldn't take the mark. Free kick. And it's holding on in the contest. It'll go the way of Subiaco. And Aaron Heel will get the ball moving. Heel out to Harris. He goes down the line. It's a risky kick. And Harrison Marsh, he was held on. And the free kick will go his way. He gets the hand pass out, releasing Delahunty. He goes down the line, and that's a good kick. Finding Bailey Matera. Just in front of the members' stand. He's going to go in short. Not 15. Umpire calls play on. Kick under pressure, cut off by Schleuf. He's under pressure. Must look like a throw, but he got it out there nonetheless. But Subiaco with the clearing kick. No mark. Right there to Martin. He gets caught in a good tackle. South wanting ball, but they're not going to get it. 2-2 playing 1-1 if you've just joined us for the first time. Martin and Delahunty goals for Subiaco, and Matthew Parker, the only goal for the Bulldogs so far. Putt in front. Taps it out to Delahunty. He looks to get the hand pass out to Clark, but he was overrun. High tackle. And that's going to be against Clark. And South Fremantle will look to clear it out of that defensive 50 through their experienced premiership star in Hayden Schleuf. Good pass out wide, finding Pearson. Drops it short. Mason Shaw, who pushes up the ground a little bit. He can play a bit in the midfield to add that extra marking prowess, and that's a good pass inboard to find Higgins. Higgins, he was looking to get the hand pass out to Schleuf. He does so. Chips it inboard. And finds Donaldson. It's been a bit quiet so far in this opening term. Vessels. And there's the siren. A very eventful opening quarter here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Both sides struggling to get consistent clean possession, but the goals that mattered that came from Martin and Delahunty give Subiaco a 7-point lead at quarter time over the reigning premiers here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Joel, you can safely say that first quarter had absolutely everything.
Yeah, a bit of everything there, and there's Rowan Powell on the sidelines there. He looks okay after that big hit. Unfortunately for Max Walters, we won't see him again. That was really the big story coming out of that first quarter. Obviously now Subi with a man down, they'll try rebound from that. But the on-ball division of South Freo really on top, I think, at various stages in that quarter, and they just look so strong when they can string a few passes around together and get it going inside 50. On the flip side, Subi will be happy with the way they've defended, and when they get out the back of the South Freo press forward, they look quite good too. Obviously, a few of their goals coming from free kicks, which gave them a nice look at goal. and that's how they got one of their two, so that's good for them. I think at this stage, though, just around the ball, Serbia want to improve their ability to get their hands on the footy. They're tackling well, though, playing with intensity, as we saw from that big hit, but I think they want to get more hands on the footy from a Subiaco perspective.
But also from South Fremantle, they want to get more clean hands on the footy as well. Still even Stevens in that department, but on the scoreboard, Subiaco leading by 7 points, 2-2-14 to 1-1-7 here at Fremantle Oval. We'll take a break, and when we come back, all the second quarter action here live on FRS Sport from Fremantle Oval, where it's the Lions leading the Bulldogs by 7 points.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Fremantle Community Bank Oval, where it is the premiers of 2019, Subiaco, doing battle against the premiers of last year, the reigning premiers South Fremantle, and it's the Lions leading by 7 points, 2-2-14 to 1-1-7. In front of what is a really good turnout, given the caps that we have had due to COVID here at Fremantle Oval. Paul Persick and Joel Sarantis with you. Joel, it was really a game of clean possession and territory in that opening quarter. Both sides struggling for consistent clean possession as we go to the CD dot highlights of that opening quarter. But Subiaco, I'd have to say, have got that territory battle for that first quarter, because when they were able to get repeat entries inside their 50 during a patch, they were able to convert on the scoreboard more heavily compared to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, absolutely. They looked a little bit more damaging in front of goal, Subi. They looked like they were going to score more freely. Obviously, only the 2 goals for them. But yeah, definitely going inside their 50. They look more damaging. I think what will worry from a Subi perspective, the coaches, is that if South Freo get too much of the ball throughout the midfield, that's when they can score pretty heavily. And we can actually see just in front of us here, Max Walters, he's up and walking around, Paul, just outside the commentary position. Yeah. So that's good to see. He looks like he might make his way towards the ambulance, which is also in front of us here in the commentary box. But he is walking around on his own steam. Looks fine. Family there with him. So that's a good sign. That was a really big hit in that first quarter.
It certainly was. That would be the story of that opening quarter as well, was that incident between Rowell and Walters, completely unexpected. And of course, with the 12-day concussion protocols in effect for season 2021, we'd have to say Walters, from our estimation, that he could be out for the next couple of weeks. But Rowan Powell, good golly as well, he is okay. But also, when you talk about the prime possession getters, you'd have to say the likes of Strom, Schloith and Higgins for South Fremantle were very good as well. Kennedy for Subiaco, Miller, and also even Martin for a little bit in that first quarter got plenty of that ball up in that forward line.
Yeah, absolutely. And we mentioned that pre-game. We know what the South Freo mid on-ball division is going to bring. We know that they can get their hands to the ball. We know they can move it quickly as well. It's whether Subi would be able to counter that and also get their own footy going forward, which they have. I mean, Greg Clark's got 7 touches, and Lee Kitchen, experience said he's got 7 as well. Lachlan Delahunty, 6, and a goal for him. He pushed forward as well. So they are getting their hands to the footy, Subi, and at this stage, they do look like they're going to score more inside 50. It's whether they can get that supply enough throughout the next 3 quarters.
Now, around the grounds, Joel, for some of the other games, because we've got 3 crackers in store going on along with this one here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Rattle them off, please, if you will.
Absolutely. Leaderville Oval, East Perth hosting Swan Districts there. They've scored a singular behind in the first quarter. East Perth, Swan Districts 38, 6 goals, 2 for them. So they're really on fire. Swan Districts are away at Leaderville Oval there. East Freo up against Perth. East Freo down in that one, 8-38. They are trailing 38-point deficit there. Perth Demons leading that one by 30 points. Claremont hosting West Perth. And again, it's the Wayside on fire there. 26-14. West Perth are leading that one. And then obviously tomorrow, the big pre-Derby, Peel versus West Coast.
Yes, of course, leading into the big Western Derby tomorrow. Ron Powell, as you can see there on your screen, he's on the bench, and it looks as though he might be walking out of the ground as well. No, he's just going to take his seat on the bench and not start this second term, as we await South Fremantle to break away from their huddle and into their positions.
We mentioned Max Walters, obviously, even that big hit he's done for the day. He doesn't look too happy. I think they're trying to get him to go in the ambulance, but I don't think he wants to. He's shaking his head. I think he might want to get back out there, but I think someone's trying to tell him that he just can't. That was just too big of a hit. He's still kitted up, Paul.
Yeah,
there. Look at that.
He's shaking his head. He's not too happy about it. I don't blame him.
He's still got his boots on. I don't know whether he thinks he's going back out, but I just don't think you're allowed to. The head knock is too important and too dangerous. There we go. We see him on screen there. So, yeah, he looks pretty disappointed, but good to see him walking around, which is a good sign. But see, he's just going back and forth. I think they're trying to tell him he has to go.
You have to go as part of the safety protocol. But the action will go on. The second quarter about to get underway here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. I reckon as Walters, he's being walked around there by trainers and also, of course, relative there.
Still shaking his head.
He's not very happy about it. He wants to get back out there. He's a very determined fella.
Yeah, no,
Maxie Walters.
And look, that's good to see. Obviously a competitor. They're all competitors here, but I think when a head knocks on, you just can't risk it, can you?
Nah, it's too big of a risk to go on and, re-aggravate that, so to speak. Second quarter about to get underway. 7 points to margin in favour of Subiaco. We thank you for joining us on FRS Sport on what is a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Fremantle Oval. Higgins versus Delahunty. Higgins gets the tap out. Schloith, he runs around and swings onto the right foot. Goes towards the half-forward line. Strom in front. Takes clean possession. Beautiful pick-up by Strom. Beats one. Beats two. Takes a bounce. He checks sides towards the centre of the goal square. Kennedy. Kennedy with a fine intercept mark. Almost capping off the play there for South Fremantle. But Kennedy on the last line of defence.
Might have been Matty Parker there with that turn of pace. We know he's got speed and he used it there. Just couldn't get the footy going towards goal.
Free kick going the way of the Lions. And Chad Pearson disputing that one there, but it's going to go the way of Matthew Johnson. Johnson in front of our commentary position. It's going to go short and down the line, and that's a good mark there. Lions will move it on immediately. Martin breaks through one tackle. Does he break through the second? He gets the hand pass out towards Clark. Intercepted. Schloit out to Schlensog. Takes a bounce. Almost bundled out. Over the top to Schloit. Tries to dribble it on the ground. Subiaco with numbers out the back of the ball through Delahunty. He chips it over the targets of Schlensog at ground level. Hand pass comes in, back to Martin. That's fine play by Martin. Martin's kick towards the forward 50. No mark there to Datsun. Putt in front. Can't take clean possession. Did he drag it in? He's in a bit of trouble, I'd reckon. Umpire says no.
Can see how important sticking tackles are there. South Freo managed to get through a couple of Subies and they managed to put some on themselves, which got the ball going the other way. Got to stick your tackles.
Higgins with a big leap, gets the tap out. Rioli switches it to the outer wing. Kennedy in front, backed up by Stainsby. Goes through one, but he was caught high. And the free kick will go the way of the Subiaco player. Only his 17th game, originally from the Korean Juniors. Useful centre, can play a bit up forward too. Stainsby's going to look for some options inside that forward 50. He's going to send it long. They'll contest about 20 metres out. Spoil from behind. Dragovic overrunning it. Free kick will go his way. Dragovic will take the free kick on the left back pocket and will send South Fremantle out of that defensive 50. The short pass comes in and is taken by Rioli. A couple of leads ignored. Rioli is going to send it down the line. Good spoil in the one-on-one. And that spoil there was by Jacob Miller and goes over the line for a throw-in.
South Freo really clogging their back 50 up there. And as you mentioned at quarter time, it is a territory battle so far this game. Really locked down, not a lot of flowing movement there. We saw Matty Parker with an opportunity to break the lines early in this quarter, which he did, but nothing much more of that.
Higgins again with another tap out. Those centre clearances proving to be essential for both teams. And again, the ball being clogged up in that passage. And the umpire said, we'll have another restart. The first 3 minutes on the Shutterguard scoreboard in this second quarter. Subiaco by 7. And there's a holding on the non-controlling umpire. Free kick will go the way of Strom. Strom goes out wide, finding Donaldson. One right half back. The kick is a risky one. No mark. They get on with it. Edwards punches it out the back. Running it there was Delahunty and now Dragovic. Sends it towards right half forward. Good spoil by Miller. And it's over the line. Another throw in.
You should see the Subi defence now really push back into their defensive 50. And I thought the Bulldogs were going to try and switch the play there and open the ground up and spread it, but they didn't. They went down the line, so it's clogged up again.
And that's what Subiaco would want to do as well in this possession, but could be too little too late as Strom and Parker. Parker gets the hand pass out. Dragovic, he snaps it high. It's an up and under. They'll contest about 25. It's a free kick. Free kick by the non-controlling umpire. It was also marked as well by Shaw, but it was over the line. It was over the line originally, and the free kick will go the way of the Bulldogs. And it'll be Dragovic. And I reckon he could back himself in and have a set shot from about 35. He's taking his time, so he's going to go for it here. No, he's going to go for the short pass, and on the lead is Shaw. He takes a good mark.
Yeah, I think that was called a dangerous tackle there on the far side of the ground, and probably in the play it was there, but Subi won't be happy with that defending. Shaw just finding space where there wasn't really a lot. Should have been a little bit more proactive, their back six.
But also the good support came in from Donaldson as well to block the path of a few Subiaco defenders to give Shaw that unassisted lead. So Mason Shaw to level the scores. Tight angle. Drop punt on its way. And that is a magnificent kick. Mason Shaw, he can thread him through from anywhere. And that is no exception. Mason Shaw gets the Bulldogs' first goal of the quarter. And the margin now just 1 point in favour of Subiaco. 2-1-13 plays 2-2-14 on the Shutterguard scoreboard as we play just over 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's why he's the 2020 Bernie Naylor medalist right there. He, as you mentioned, can put them in from anywhere. You're going to have to take your opportunities in this clash, clearly. Not high scoring. That's our 4th goal of the day. So to have someone like him up forward inside your 50 and putting him through from pretty difficult angles, that's exactly what you'd want. Huge kick, and that's a great example of taking your opportunities from limited exposure inside the 50.
But also, like you said, that limited exposure, that was allowed by the defence of Subiaco. They conceded a dangerous tackle free kick, but also were wandering around looking where Shaw was as a prime target. He just went on a loose lead and took a fine mark uncontested. 1 point the difference in favour of Subiaco. Certainly has been a tight tussle thus far. Delahunty roving it brilliantly off his own knock, but intercepted by a couple of Bulldogs. Schloith takes the handball. Breaks through 2 tackles. He goes for the pass over the head of Miller on centre half forward. The ball bounces in favour there of Jacob Miller. For Subiaco, he kicks towards left half forward. No mark. Umpire calls play on. Almost pushed out there. The umpire says, no, I'm not having a bar of it. Vessels tries to break free, but that pride of lines there stopping him in his tracks. He'll have a ball up. Just outside Subiaco's 50, Higgins gets a tap out, loses possession out to Delahunty. He regains it. The hand pass comes out. South Fremantle doing everything they can to stop Subiaco's ball movement. And another stoppage.
Hayden Schloith getting off the chain a bit here. He's had 11 touches, 3 tackles as well.
If he has a good quarter, more often than not, that could result in what could be a monstrous game for Schloith. And he's got that experience of sandovers and premierships. He knows how to turn it on. He knows how to turn it on its head and send it back his way. Clearing kick out of the defensive 50 for the Bulldogs. Miller overruns it. Hard tackles being applied here. Miller dribbles it along the ground. Schloith overruns it. Hand pass comes out. Kennedy puts boot to ball. From 45 metres out towards the goal. No mark. Umpire calls play on. And South Fremantle again with that rebound possession, opening it up and finding Donaldson. Donaldson's kick towards a 1-on-1, and that's a disappointing kick, finding Stainsby. Stainsby goes inboard, risky territory, finding Marsh. They go inboard again. Look at the space that they can generate here. Long kick, 15 metres out in front of goal, 2-on-1. Couldn't take the mark. The snap comes in. That is by Ben Sokol. Sokol reading the drop of the ball brilliantly and gets his first goal of the afternoon. And they draw back. They take the lead again by 7 points with 8 minutes into this second term on the Shutterguard scoreboard.
Well, we just said it down the other end. You've got to take your opportunities, and that was that. They're really against the run of play there, and out of nothing, that one, a snap out of the pack as we watch the replay here, and Goals like this will be invaluable today. Look at that, just immediate goal sense, knew where they were, didn't even have to look, slams it on the boot straight through. That's what you want from your forwards. Great goal, and every time South Freo look like they're going to push ahead, Subi comes straight back, so great contest on offer here. And there's Powell on the bench. He actually hasn't come back after that big knock that we saw Max Walters leave the ground with, so interesting to see whether he's also got that concussion test going there. He looks still kitted up, doesn't it?
I reckon, but Subiaco would take that safe approach and not take him back on the ground. You know, you've got to have that risk given the new concussion protocols.
Again, similar body language to Walters. Looks like he wants to get back out there, but obviously doctors get the final say.
7 points the difference. It's back in that attacking half of South Fremantle, but Kennedy recovers. Beautiful hand pass, opening it up to Hickmott. And now Subiaco can get it moving. Mark taken there by Miller. He's had a couple of good ones so far. Whoa, he gets caught in a hard tackle, Rioli. It was play on. In fact, it was Ninyet who got that tackle. And now South Fremantle have got the advantage here. The pass comes in towards Shaw. It's inside 50. Shaw versus Putt. Both players keeping their feet brilliantly. Putt keeps it in front, hacks it off the ground. Only as far as Pearson, who overruns it. Now Subiaco through Martin, and Martin was held on and was high. And the free kick will go his way. Pearson will be a bit stiff there because it was a fine effort from him to attack hard at the football, but just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now Martin from left half back. Doesn't know where to go. He's forced to go down the line. 1-on-1. Higgins over the top of Delahunty, and it's out in the full. That'll be Higgins' free kick for the Bulldogs right in front of the Lions bench. They need the next goal here. The Higgins is going to bomb it long towards the attacking 50. Putt in front, and he was held on to again. And that was by the non-controlling umpire. In fact, it's Lockyer who's going to take the free kick. Lockyer goes to the outer side and finds Miller. Miller's kick goes out wide across the ground. Good judged kick. The hand pass was dummied. Disappointing kick. Half volley there for Blinchenden. Goes to ground. Well played by the Lions, enforcing the pressure there. Hickmott, and it's a throw.
Yeah, clear throw there out of the pack. Just trying to get the ball going too quickly. Subi just falling down in this middle part. Can't get the ball to the top of their 50 yet.
It's that clean possession that we talked about at quarter time. Good mark taken by Shaw, close to the boundary line. He's going to set it up to the hotspot. He's got a couple of leads incoming. One of them is Datson. Fine attempt at the mark over the top there, Kennedy. Barker goes for the short pass, and uncontested there, as easy as you like. Finds Matty Parker. And this will be a big response if the Bulldogs can get this one through.
Yeah, Subi back 6, actually standing up quite well. It's when they've got that overlap run coming out of their defence that they can't link up with their midfield group. And twice we've seen now South Freo turn it over in the middle of the ground. That one was a free kick. Last one was poor disposal, so that's giving them these opportunities inside 50.
Matthew Parker, this will be for his second. From 40 metres out, that one goes across the face. I don't think it'll make the distance. And it goes over the line. In fact, no score, but it'll be a throw-in. That's another opportunity gone begging for the Bulldogs here. But it'll be a throw-in from the forward pocket. Parker's going to push forward. Looked to be the sweeper in that contest. Shaw out the back. Went in the Parker direction. Ball goes to ground. Team tackle. Kennedy and Stainsby. Not going anywhere further, according to the umpire.
Be interesting to see also Subi down 2 rotations. Powell still on the bench, not back on, so see how their legs hold out for the next 3 quarters.
Lockyer. Hard tackle there on Schleuf, but it's a high tackle. It'll be a free kick going Schleuf's way, and this will be a chance to put South Fremantle back within a point.
Seeing a lot of these. Oh, he's played on.
Played on, snaps around the corner, and has put it through. Hayden Schleuf gets his first of the afternoon. Saw the situation and went for it. And Schleuf gets his first, but the umpires are wanting to call it back. They haven't signalled a goal. What's going on here? I think it's been reversed. No, they've called it a goal. Goal umpire confirms it. It's a goal. Just as we thought, it's a goal. And the margin now back to within a point. Hayden Schleuf gets his first of the afternoon.
Yeah, he tends to favour that snap option in front of goal. Hayden Schleuf obviously feels more comfortable with the bender around the corner instead of the set shot. And, well, we mentioned earlier, he's getting off the chain. That was his 13th disposal, a goal now and 5 tackles. So, as you mentioned, he can obviously, Santo medalist, change a game by himself, and probably Subi should look into quelling his influence just a little bit.
More often than not, if he has a good quarter, he has a good game, whether it be the first, second or third. He just turns it around in his team's favour. That big of an influence he's got over 163 games of football.
As we mentioned, a couple of rotations down now, Subi, so we'll see how that unfolds for them with the likes of Schleuf for the Bulldogs on ball.
Miller now in the ruck. He's been switched on in place of Higgins. Intercepted brilliantly there by Robinson. Robinson goes for the pass out towards half forward. Releasing Martin. A hand pass comes in. Marsh hacks it forward with the left foot. Stainsby, kick partially smothered. It's out of that defensive 50 for the Bulldogs, but it may enter back in their opposition territory. Kennedy caught. Umpire says play on. Snatched out there by Vessels. Vessels kick. Disappointing one, and again Stainsby crucial in the interception department. Another good mark against the movement of the ball. And Subiaco will now go into attack again. Stainsby's kick in the path of Lockyer. Marsh tries to burrow it forward past Mascos. Kitchen. He's brought down the hard tackle, and it's ball, holding the ball. And it looked to have dragged it in Lee Kitchen. And the free kick will go the way of, you guessed it, Hayden Schleuf. Another tremendous quarter he's had. Schleuf goes inboard and finds Datsun, and he can move it on immediately. And now the Bulldogs are on the run here. That's a well-executed kick there, Datsun. Out to Ninyet. He can't keep it out in front of him at this possession. Looping hand pass over the top. And that sends Subiaco out of defence through Road.
Really good work by Subi there. When that ball hit the ground, you back in Cody Ninyet most times to get that on goal, but really good defensive pushback from Subi.
Long kick, Stainsby in front, couldn't take the mark. And caught in a good tackle there by Dragovic. And it's a free kick to South Fremantle. The advantage is being paid. Outside the 50, Ninyet tries to chip it in short. It's in the path of Donaldson. He goes to goal from 35 metres out and bangs it through. Donaldson gets the third goal of the quarter for the Bulldogs, and they hit the front. At the 16-minute mark of the second quarter here at Fremantle Oval, 25 plays 20. The Bulldogs leading by 5 points.
A very rare pocket of space inside 50 for both sides there, and glad that one was taken, because that's the first real running goal and look at goal that we've had from either side. And because it's been played so tight and the tackles are so high, we're seeing a lot of those free kicks around the ground too. So South Freo on that occasion just able to take the advantage and get it moving quickly, because we're seeing a lot of high tackles. Even South Freo's last goal was obviously from a free kick as well. So a lot of that in-tight play and tackles, you need to be careful with them and not give too much away. South Freo just on top the last 5 or so minutes.
Higgins has gone back on the ground. He's pushed up forward this time, so to add a little bit more power inside that forward line, combined with Shaw and Ninyet. So interesting move made by Curley, as you can see there. Ninyet and Higgins.
He might not have the biggest leap, Paul, but he can just stand there, can't he? Just put his hands up.
Just an effortless leap, just take the mark. So it's Miller and Putt in the ruck contest. Putt wins it out, tries to tap it out the back. It's inside that centre circle. And Subiaco get a move on very quickly. Spiral punt towards the forward 50. Good pick up in the end there by Borchet. And caught in a good tackle by on Wilson. And that tackle applied there by Clark. We'll have a ball up, a boundary throw in, about 55 metres out from goal.
Are we happy with their centre clearances, Subi? They are working the ball out of the middle nicely. They're just not connecting with their forwards and taking their opportunities as well as South Freo at this stage.
Putt again with a tap out to Kitchen, who's been quiet this first half. Schlensov gets caught in a fine tackle there by Borchet. Subiaco holding the ball, and they're going to get it.
Gee, hot footy, Paul. That was immediate there. Don't know if he had too much prior, but that's the good tackling pressure that Subi are bringing, and that's great to see. And we mentioned it's an in-tight game, so calls like that, you've got to make the most of it.
It was for Jordan Faroni. He's only played his 4th league game this afternoon. He's already averaged 3 goals in the first 3 games in this league level. And for a small forward, he plays like that big, imposing forward. He's got power, he's got a good leap. Faroni from just on the 50. That is a booming left foot kick. Is it going to clear the line? No, it's touched. And it's a behind for Subiaco. Margin now 4 points. 4-1 to 3-3 at the 19th minute mark on the Shatterguard scoreboard. Both sides flooding the area of Subiaco's forward half. And this is what South Fremantle will look to do, is allow the Bulldog players to push back into that forward 50 with short passes and sucking in the Subiaco defenders. Now the Bulldogs clear it out again. Thompson and Datson combining well. Under a bit of pressure now, the Bulldogs get it out of that defensive 50. The kick goes across the ground. Donaldson can't beat the ball to the boundary line. And it'll be over. Another boundary throwing.
Well, Max Walters still in front of us, not into the ambulance yet. I think the debate's still going on because he's still got his boots on and kitted up. I don't know if he wants to get back out there, but still not in the ambulance yet, just as an update on that big collision from the first quarter.
Ball's tapped out again. Out to Martin. And the umpire says, give it to me once again.
South Freo don't really look too concerned about losing the territory battle at this stage because they can get out the back quickly. That's where a few of their goals have come from already in the second quarter.
Higgins out in front, tries to get the tap out. Higgins dispossessed, but a hand pass out to Parker. And Parker gets it back alongside the centre square. Probing kick towards the forward 50. 1-on-1 and pushed over the line by Lockyer is Ninyet. And lucky not to concede a free kick, it'll be a throw-in.
And that's an example of it there. Because it's so in tight in the midfield, when they do get out the back from the clearance, South Freo, they know they can give their forwards a lot of space inside the 50, and that one just couldn't be turned into an attacking foray too decisively, but that's an example of it.
Ball trickled out of the shuttle. Bleacherton, hand pass over the top in the path of Donaldson, but it was just over the line before he had a chance, and it is another throw-in.
And by the same token, Subi's forward set up now, no one inside their 50, no one really in their half, and the ball's just outside the 50 of South Freo's attacking area, so incredibly tight contest, and that's why the big bodies are coming to the front in the midfield.
Hickmott dispossessed, the hand pass comes out to Clinch, puts boot to ball. Rioli couldn't take the mark, but it was touched off the boot. Bleacherton snaps around the corner towards the forward 50. Parker again. Stainsby laying a beautiful tackle just inside the 50. It's an up and under kick. 1-on-1. Shaw versus Lockyer. But it's over their heads. Punched away towards the line and it goes over. 4 points the difference at the 21-minute mark of this second quarter. 3-1 in favour of the Bulldogs.
Well, we mentioned those bigger bodies in the midfield. 6 tackles to Schloith and 14 touches. 6 to Dragovic as well. From a Subi perspective, Greg Clark with 14 touches and 3 tackles, and Lee Kitchen, second comer, with 9 touches and 4 tackles. So hands on the footy and laying tackles all around the ground. The big midfielders inside on the ball.
Well, on to an umpire calls play on. Team tackle being applied by both sides, and a little bit of heated contact with both sides. Kitchen, Schloith amongst those. Yeah, another ball up. Higgins. Big punch over the top, finding Schloith. Goes around a couple of Subi players. The chip towards the full forward zone. Hand pass over the top. Ninyet to Parker. Dragovic kicks across his body. Up and under kick. A 1-on-1. Bounce favouring Donaldson. It goes over the line. Another throw-in.
Did well there. Donaldson protected the space. Knew he couldn't outmark his opponent, and that's what a small forward needs to do. Use their footy smarts to try and get their hands on the footy. Almost came off for him there.
3-1 in this quarter. Begins another tap out towards Lockyer. He gets caught by Bleacherton. And again, no stoppages really hurting Subiaco here. They're wanting to get that ball moving out of that defensive 50. Higgins snatches it out of the ruck. Snaps over the shoulder from 30. And it's out of bounds on the full. And this will give Subiaco a chance to reassess where they can move the ball out of that defensive 50.
Umps' arms will get a good workout today, throwing the ball up around the ground because it's just been locked down everywhere, hasn't it? Ball up after ball up, but it's good to see from both sides the pressure they're bringing.
Strong with a good mark out the back. Sends it towards the forward 50, 2-on-1, and a fine mark there. Cody Ninyet. The kick was read brilliantly by Ninyet. Strong waited it well enough for Ninyet to go on a hard lead and take a good mark.
We know we can play small and big, Cody Ninyet, and that's an example of it there. Rare look, a bit of space in front of him. Look at the courage there, going back with the flight from Harris, but Cody Ninyet knows how to use his body well. He's a really skillful player, and that's an example of it right there.
So Ninyet for the Bulldogs' 4th goal of the quarter from just inside the 50. Drop punt on its way, and it clears everybody. Ninyet gets his first goal, and South Fremantle open their lead up to 10 points as we are nearing half-time.
13th goal for the year for Cody Ninyet. 5 in round 1, 4 in round 2, 3 a couple of weeks ago in round 3. And he's just an absolute star, and all he needed was a little bit of pocket of space in front of him there to be able to put one on the board, and that's why they're so dangerous, South Freo, because we've seen now Hayden Schloith getting on top. He's up to 15, Dragovic with 13, and when they do get the inside 50s up, they can hit the scoreboard pretty heavily.
As we see on the CD dot replay, just an effortless technique that he's got, Cody Ninyet. Very good follow through and a natural kick. He's hit the scoreboard consistently throughout the last 3 games that he has played, and that was certainly no exception. Ninyet, the 4th goal of the Bulldogs in this second term. 10 points the margin. Bleacherton dispossessed, rather casually too. Clinch, kicks towards centre half forward, no mark. At ground level, Edwards, hand pass intercepted by Delahunty. Bends it round the body, and that towards a one-on-one. Good play in the end by Rode. He gets dragged down. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll have it. And Ron Powell down into the changing rooms, we have been told, so it looks like he won't take any further part in this game as it stands after that incident with Walters. Snap around the body. That was by Lewis Punt, and he's put it right through the centre, and that's a big response for the Lions. The margin now back to 4 points.
Yeah, great goal for Subi there. They are on top from the centre clearances. They've already got 4 from the restart this quarter, and another one for them here, and they locked it in nicely. Goal from literally nothing, whilst Brock Higgins is a star and a big body. The agility there of his smaller opponent, I mean, he got away and found a little bit of space to get the snap on goal, and an accurate one as well. Great work deep from Subi, and that was a really important goal from Park.
Margin back to 4 points. 5-1 playing 4-3 on the Shutterguard scoreboard. And what's been quite a fascinating clash. It's been a battle of territory and possession between 2 of the premier sides in the last couple of years in this competition. South Fremantle 5-1 playing 4-3. We're glad you could join us on this Saturday afternoon. Delahunty, loose possession. Higgins brilliantly roved off his own knock, and what a fine kick too. Higgins with the pass, roving it brilliantly off his own knock, and the mark is being taken. Caleb Datson will have a shot.
Don't know how much he meant that, but if it falls into your forward's hands, you meant it, isn't it, Paul?
Absolutely. You've got to make your own luck count. So Caleb Datson, in his 23rd league game, back in the side this week. This will be for the 5th goal of the quarter. And to get the margin back to 10 points from right on the 50, gives it everything he's got. That never looked like missing. Datson gets his first. And South Fremantle push the lead back out to 10 points. 6-1 playing 4-3 on the Shutterguard scoreboard as we've reached the 27th minute.
Well, huge response from South Freo quickly. And they got their own clearance there. And that looked like Brock Higgins said to himself, last goal was probably my fault, so I'm going to get one back for our side. Won his own ball from the tap, got it moving forward, and obviously fell into the lap of his forward. A bit of a miss kick going forward from Brock Higgins, but that doesn't matter. His job is to get the centre clearance, and he got it inside 50, and great quick response there for the Bulldogs.
And that goal will certainly rattle Subiaco a little bit, especially when they had defended so well for much of that second quarter. Subiaco would love that next goal if they can get it within the next few minutes, as they've only kicked 2 goals in this quarter. Sokol in the 9th minute and Lewis Punt in the 26th. Been a long stretch between them. Big punch away. Out there to Johnson. Hand pass dispossessed. And again, another repeat entry for South Fremantle. Shaw couldn't take them out with the one hand. Ninyet finds an opening. He finds another. Swings onto the right foot. It's going down towards the goal, and he's kicked another one. Cody Ninyet is 2nd of the quarter. And South Fremantle, they stretch the lead again, this time to 16 points. 7-1 playing 4-3. South Fremantle are right on top here at Fremantle Oval.
What a goal from Cody Ninyet. We said it earlier, he can play tall and he can play small, and that's playing small at its finest. Read it perfectly, balked one way, balked the next, quick snap, knows where the goals are, doesn't even need to look, and that's just too good. And just goes to show how important centre clearances are. 2 in a row for South Freo, 2 goals within a minute. So when they do get on top, we mentioned it earlier, their forwards are just so damaging deep. Obviously you've got Ninyet, but I've also got Shaw up there as well. You know, McCarthy can swing down there. He's kind of playing up the ground this game, but there's a lot of players that can put quick score on the board for South Freo. So if they do get on top in the midfield, that's what can happen.
17 points the difference. South Fremantle right on top in the last 5 minutes. Higgins, another centre clearance out towards the attacking 50. Rioli couldn't take the mark. Ball punched away to the path of Dragovic. Rioli overrunning it. Now Subiaco can clear it out through Clark. And the Lions are 1-on-1. Edwards almost with the mark. Umpire calls play on. Out the back there was Clinch. And this time the Lions, and they're just not tightening up their movement of the ball at the moment. They haven't been very tidy in that area. Free kick will go the Bulldogs' way. Be taken by Thompson. Thompson sends it long down the line. 1-on-1, and that's a push in the back. The umpire is paid. Free kick will go the way of... I think it's Dragovic. The advantage is paid. Rioli from outside the 50. Rioli has another one. Ben Rioli with the 6th goal of the quarter, the 7th I should say for the Bulldogs. After the free kick, Rioli saw the opportunity with the advantage being played and just thrusted towards the attacking 50 with a lovely goal.
We just said that they can score quickly, and that's a perfect example of it there. Another one, pocket of space out the back, and we mentioned it earlier. From the free kick, took the advantage smartly. A lot of free kicks in this game because it's been played in tight, arms swinging around, high tackles, pushes in the back, and he was the first to react there, Ben Rioli. Saw that there was no one in front of him, just went, picked it up, went for a run and kicked truly. And South Freo, when they put the foot down, they really are unstoppable, aren't they? We saw that in round 1 against West Perth as well. And for patches against Claremont in round 2, obviously, as well, but they couldn't maintain it for that game. But here on their home deck, they really do put a lot of damage on very quickly, South Freo, and they've shown it here.
22 points now, the margin, just like that in the space of 6 minutes. They've kicked very quick goals between the 24th and the 31st minute of this second quarter, and they are right on top here. Strom, hand pass comes out. Schlensog, he's played brilliantly from centre-half back, and that kick is no exception. He finds Big Higgins. Higgins plays it out wide by the scoreboard, finding Dragovic. Dragovic's pass over the head there of Shaw and Miller. Shaw gets caught in a good tackle in the end. Can he get it out? It's close to the boundary line, but he's gone, holding the ball. It'll be a Lions free kick. It'll go the way of Lockyer. Lockyer by the scoreboard end. Sends it down the line. Over the top there was Parker, but he couldn't take the mark. And it'll be a throw-in. So 32 minutes played in this second term. 22 points the difference.
And now with a bit of momentum, Subi won't be happy with the fact that South Freo are rebounding out of their defence. We saw for big chunks of the start of this second quarter that it was getting locked in. Subiaco's forward 50. Few minutes with momentum, South Freo have been able to rebound quite easily.
And that momentum's all with South Fremantle at the moment. It was a big spurt of goals in the space of 6 minutes. And it was a 7-goal second quarter. And for Subiaco, only 2. And it is a 22-point lead to South Fremantle at half-time. Those last 6 minutes, very crucial for South Fremantle. Those centre clearances leading into quick goals. And as you said, they can score, and they can score quickly. Those last 2 goals by Ninyet and Rioli, as you can see there on your screen, the last 2 goal kickers of the first half. As for Subiaco, they are seriously rattled.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's reflected too. Inside 50s, they're up 10 now, South Fremantle. And then that, as a result, they can put the score on the board. They've got so many damaging forwards. Piece of brilliance from Cody Ninyet. Read it beautifully off the pack and balked one way, then the next, and dribbled one through. That's just unstoppable. You can't do anything about that when you're a defender. But on top 2, really around the midfield, Hayden Schloith, he's up to 16 now, 6 tackles. Jacob Dragovic has been good, 14 for him. And Brock Higgins, huge inclusion. He obviously didn't play round 3, but you can see it there on the rebound out of their defence. He immediately knows that he has to spread. When it goes down, he backs in Blaine Wilson and Blake Schlensog to do the intercept mark, to get the ball going their way, and he pushes wide immediately. There he is there. Such a big frame, but he's also athletic as well, so they just match up so well around the ground and connect their ball movement really well. From Subi's perspective, they'll be happy with big chunks of that quarter. They applied a lot of tackling pressure. They managed to take their opportunities early on, but it was just a case of South Freo putting the foot down and they just couldn't stop it. So positives for Subi, obviously not the scoreboard, but when they come back out for the second half, the immediate thing for them will be to get on top in the midfield and get their hands on the footy, which South Freo the last 10 minutes of that quarter were just dominating.
Half time here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. It is South Fremantle 8-1-49 after 7 goals in the second quarter, leading Subiaco 4-3-27, 22 points as we head into half time. We'll be back with our special half time package and our CD highlights for the first half. Back with more here on FRS Sport after this.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Half-time of this vital clash between South Fremantle and Subiaco, the premiers of 2019 up against the premiers of last year in South Fremantle and Subiaco, respectively. 22 points is the difference as we are into half-time. Paul Persigan, Joel Sarantis with you live from Fremantle Oval on FRS Sport. And Joel, before we get into some of the other games with around the grounds, we'll check out the CD highlights for that opening half. And that first quarter, really tight tussle, a good battle for territory, and both sides locking in the ball as much as they can to eradicate the fast ball movement from each side. But when that second quarter came around between the 20th and the 32nd minute, it was all South Fremantle with those centre clearances and getting first use of the football.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really locked down for right up until the last 10 minutes of that second quarter. All players really going in hard, tackling hard, and neither midfield really being able to get on top and get their forwards a real good look at it. And as a result, we saw a lot of free kicks around the ground. A couple of goals in that first quarter were from high tackles, and again, in the first part of the second quarter, Subi got one from a free kick as well, and also South Freo. But then when South Freo put the foot down and their midfielders get their hands on the ball, they got the speed and they got the strength around the ball to get inside 50 entries, and we saw that through Hayden Schloith, Matty Parker as well. He sometimes, when he puts the burners on, he's unstoppable. Cody Ninyet, he can move up the ground, and we saw him deep there in that quarter, but when he pushes up, it gives space out the back to the likes of Mason Shaw as well. So inside their 50, South Freo just look too good. That Subi don't look like they have any answers when South Freo can get repeat entries. Subi will be happy with what they know they can match it with this side. That's the Subi perspective, is that when they're tackling and stopping that running play that South Freo, the Bulldogs, bring, they know they can match it. They just got to make sure they maintain that lockdown game, which obviously isn't as appealing for the viewer, but from their perspective, that's how they're going to win this game. They're going to stop that running play, lock it down, and make sure they take their opportunities when they do get their entries inside 50, which they did for the first part of that second quarter and all through the first, but they just let the Bulldogs get off the chain in the second part of that second quarter there.
But what have Subiaco got to do? Not just maintaining their lockdown game, but when the ball gets out, they'd have to get first to the football, because there weren't a lot of passages where Subiaco got first hands to the football when it got out of that congestion.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that big collision there that obviously leaves them 2 down now. Just saw it then on the replay. But this is that spread that we talk about from Brock Higgins. Look at that spread there. As soon as he gets out wide, he knows immediately that Schlensog and Wilson are going to be the intercept markers, and he can get into space and get it deep into the Bulldogs forward line quickly. As we see it there on the replay. Yeah, Subi They really need to maintain that lockdown game, and their forwards have been okay so far. They've taken a few opportunities, but they just haven't got their running game going. And I think to beat the Bulldogs, that's what you need to bring. You need to make sure you can hit the scoreboard as well. And if you can't hit the scoreboard, we know they're going to score heavily, the Bulldogs. So especially on their home deck, Subi need to find a way to goal at this stage.
But that midfield supply hasn't been there in that second quarter, especially in those last 10 minutes where South Fremantle started to get that run on. And between the 24th and the 32nd minute, they kicked 4 very quick goals from centre clearances. And I think it was all down to Subiaco not getting those first hands to the football. If you look at the likes of Miller, Delahunty, Stainsby and Kitchen, they've been okay in patches, but for most of it, it's been very quiet, especially the influence of Kitchen has been quite minimal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kitchen's second comer for Subi. He's had 11 touches. Gregory Clark, the only one with more for the Lions with 15, and Kitchen's also had 4 tackles. So they were getting centre clearances, for the first part of that second quarter. I think they had 4 in a row from the restart, which will be a positive for them. But as soon as you take the foot off the pedal, you just know that the Bulldogs are going to be able to score heavily and get out the back quite quickly. And they do push their numbers back really well, the Bulldogs as well, and they give their forwards a lot of space. They just manage that better than any other side in the comp, I think. Claremont probably the only ones who can attribute that real open forward line play to their style of game as well. But obviously reigning premiers, they're going to do it well, and they've maintained that into this year.
Now, just before we get to our special halftime package around the grounds for some of the other games, there's been a few crackers over here at WAFL Round 5 of 2021. What's some of the scores from the other games?
Yeah, East Perth hosting Swan Districts. They're still down. They scored 1 point in the entire first quarter, the Royals, and they're trailing 26-46 to Swan Districts. East Perth at home in that clash. East Freo trailing at home as well, hosting the Perth Demons 23-46 in that clash. And Claremont have got on top. They were trailing at quarter time against West Perth, but home side at Revo Fitness Stadium, Claremont, they're leading 54-33. So away sides coming to play this round, except for here, obviously, as well. Subi trailing against South Freo.
Yeah, there's a couple of cracking games over there at East Fremantle and, of course, Leaderville Oval, and even at Claremont as well in WAFL matches of the round for Round 5 of 2021. Now, it's time to get to our special halftime package. Bo McDonald, he's been the man that's been leading the charge for the talent and the pathway of WA female football. Let's see what he has to say on the future of WA female football and the pathway that is led to provide more opportunities for women in WA football in 2021.
I suppose I developed my love for football when I was very young. I grew up in a sporting family. The girls went to netball on Saturday and the boys went down to Bassendean Oval and we watched Swan Districts. My uncle's a Gary Sidebottom. He played over 100 games at Swan Districts. My pop Wally Sidebottom played state football and also for Swan Districts. I didn't play football till Year 12 at the Upper Swan Junior Footy Club. I went down there in Year 12 and played in the under-18s, and I found myself at Swan Districts Colts the next year. And then the year after that I was lucky enough to make it to the Brisbane Lions. In 2001, I think to be part of history was fantastic. I really remember getting a handball out to Bossy when he's kicked that goal from the boundary line, and I remember pushing over the contest. I think John Barnes was my opponent. When I seen Bossy flash past, I remember giving him the handball and sort of folding in behind him, and I was directly behind him, and he's kicked the ball and it's just gone through. And I remember running back to the centre thinking, this isn't over. This is such a good football team we're playing against. There was no room to relax until that siren went.
And they've beaten the chance.
When I retired in 2008, I spent some time at the Brisbane Lions, assistant coaching role, worked behind the scenes in some welfare roles and some ruck coaching. I was there for 3 years, but then I moved to the Pilbara. I worked with young Indigenous males up there, trying to get them to go to school and helping them out with their lives. And then I got the opportunity to coach the Northwest Academy through the West Australian Football Commission, and I started to really enjoy coaching that young group, and I felt like I have a responsibility to give kids the opportunity that I had. I enjoyed my time coaching in the country, but getting back into high performance was what I really wanted to do, and the opportunity was there in female football. And I moved down to Perth to be involved in the female talent pathway to coach under-18 state girls.
Bo's application really stood out to us because of his experience in the coaching world. So it wasn't so much that he'd played AFL, in fact that's limited to it. It's his ability to connect one-on-one with people. He knew what it took to play and coach at the highest level. He'd worked at community level in Aboriginal and community engagement, so we knew he was the right package to move a group of people from where they were to where they needed to be.
The girls are, they're a joy to coach. We're really just there to give them the best opportunity, that if you get that call up to the AFLW you can do your best when you get there.
He understands that each player needs to make their own progressions. So what drives him forward is driving a player forward. His ability to move a player with their understandings through the developmental stages and pathways would be his best attribute. We're really lucky to have support of fantastic sponsors like Kia because they allow us to drive the game forward. Bo's been able to really drive female football, and our staff love driving the Kia cars. We've got staff that have since bought their own Kia cars as well, which is terrific. To have Kia as a sponsor to allow us to cart our people, our equipment, and to basically power and drive what we're doing inside female football is terrific.
We're trying to drive a culture here within our academy group. We also want to produce WAFL W players and good community members and people that go back and give in some way to the community. And let the girls know that you know, whether they go on in their football or they go into a workplace, all these things that we're trying to instill in our culture here, they're transferable to the next place that you go, and it's just all part of being a good person.
Welcome back to Fremantle Community Bank Oval. That halftime package, all thanks to Kia. And of course, great work by Bo McDonald supporting the pathway of women's football here in Western Australia. Of course, former 2001 Premiership player with the Brisbane Lions, superstar of the game, and it's great to see him still involved in football here in Western Australia. Paul Bursick and Joel Saratas with you. As you can see, there's some of the little leaguers having some fun on the ground, having a bit of a kick, just enjoying themselves. And it's great to see them back on the ground as well, and a crowd as well, of course, with the evolving situation surrounding COVID-19 here in WA and the last fortnight we have just had. It's great to see them enjoying themselves and having a smile on their face, and the crowd too having a smile on their faces as well after a week out.
Absolutely. Those lads we saw earlier, they were where I usually was in the junior career. Paul, right on the bench, but hopefully they get a run shortly. Those young lads, great to see, and yeah, great to have footy back all around WA. In this one, though, we should mention that Subi obviously 2 rotations down as well going into this second quarter, so we'll see how that affects them, especially throughout the midfield without that running pace. I mean Walter's obviously forward a lot and power as well, but we'll see whether that really pushes the South Freo midfield dominance, which we saw in the second half of that second quarter there, because without 2 rotations, you're probably going to find that you run out of legs a bit easier, as you'd expect. And we should also mention that both Walters and Powell up and okay. Walters obviously wanted to go back out. That unfortunately couldn't happen because it was such a big knock. So they're both fine, and it was a massive hit, but we'll see how that affects the contest going forward into the second half.
It certainly is going to be an interesting second half, but also not just from Subiaco, having 2 rotations down and looking to improve their possession. How can South Fremantle maintain its momentum? Because what's going to be important here is where they can get the first use of the ball, get the centre clearances, and also move it quite wide across the ground, which is what they have done best in that second quarter. We'll take a break, but when we do come back, all the second half action from Fremantle Community Bank Oval here on FRS Sport, where it is the Bulldogs, the reigning premiers, leading 8-1-49 to Subiaco 4-3-27. Don't go anywhere. A big second half coming up here at Fremantle Oval.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Second half about to get underway here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Paul Persick with you alongside Joel Saratas. The clash between Subiaco and South Fremantle. The Lions back out on the ground. South Fremantle We'll be back out on the ground in just a little bit to start the second half. What's going to be a very important next 30 minutes of football to see where the momentum lies, whether it stays with South Fremantle after rocketing to a 7-2 second quarter, or will it be with the Lions? Can they come back? But what is going to be very important, Joel, as we mentioned at the end of the second quarter, is how they can affect those centre clearances and how they can contain South Fremantle inside that centre square area.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see whether Bo Wardman goes back to that lockdown game that we saw in the first quarter, stop South Fremantle's run going forward, and then you try and get them on the break, or whether he says, look, we're down on the scoreboard here, it's time for us to start attacking. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go, especially out of the middle. I imagine they'll go back to what worked for them in the first quarter. They'll try lock the game down, get numbers around the contest, apply a lot of tackles, and really slow that Bulldogs rebound overlap run that we saw for the second half of that second quarter. I reckon that'll be the message. Let's get back to what we were doing in the first quarter. That was working well for us on the scoreboard as well. So let's lock this game down, and we'll make sure we get out the back and take the most of our opportunities. And that's all you want from your forward line, isn't it? To take the most of the opportunities when it comes inside 50. And that'll be a really big issue for them in this second half, and I'm sure the forward line coaches of Subi will be drilling that into their front six, that we need to make the most of the footy coming in here, and let's get some score on the board.
But from a South Fremantle point of view, of course, they have to lock it down as much as they can as well, but also with the overlapping rebound that they usually have from that defensive 50 working for them with short passes out wide of the ground, with the likes of course, Byron, Strom and Higgins working hard up forward and also in the ruck. That's going to be so important for South Fremantle if they want to further put the bleeding on Subiaco.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the Bulldogs mentality is if it's a shootout and we're going head to head, they'll back themselves in most games. It's what we saw at the Claremont game a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, they're a real attacking team as well. And South Freo just went head to head with them, and it was Claremont that got out on top on that occasion. And I reckon they'll do that here. They back in their attacking play and their clearance work from the midfield group, and then they back in their forwards to put score on the board. So I think they'll try opening up this game a little bit more, South Freo, because that's what worked for them in the second half of that second quarter. They'll try put some more score on the board, and that'll be the directive from Tom Curley. Let's open this game up, make sure we get the overlap run out of defence. They back in Blaine Wilson, they back in Blake Schlensog, who are real mobile, tall, intercept mark defenders, and they love that link-up play into the midfield. So I reckon that's how Bulldogs will go forward in this second half.
Players back into position now. Of course, the big story out of this first quarter is Rowan Powell. It doesn't look as though he's back out on the field. Can't see the number 6 at this stage. Nor is Max Walters, of course. He's not back out there as well. He was directed to the ambulance after that incident in that first quarter. Just been told, however, the coaches, Bo Wardman and co, have not ruled him out of the game. So there could be a stage where he may come back onto the field.
Yeah, minimum 20 minutes, I believe, from even a minor head knock to get assessed by the trainers and doctors. So definitely done that time, missed that whole quarter. So I imagine that's past the minimum amount of time he can spend on the bench from, even if it's a minor head knock. But we'll see what unfolds for the second half.
Both sides eager to break away from their huddles. Subiaco well into position now. They're just talking in their separate groups. South Fremantle, Ninette has scored a couple of goals. Rioli, of course, the last goal of that second quarter. And Shaw with the first of the second at the 6-minute mark. Was guilty as charged. Most goals usually wins. And South Fremantle, they've done most of the attacking in this game.
Yeah, real spread of goal scorers for the Bulldogs, and that's what they'll really enjoy throughout the game. 7 different goal scorers, Cody Ninette, the only multiple. So really good for them, and same from a Subi perspective, all individual goal scorers there. So no one really looking like they're going to kick a bag today, which is also good to see. When you go inside 50, you do want a spread of your forwards. You want to make sure everyone's damaging and you're keeping the back six accountable.
Second half about to get underway here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. 22 points is the margin. No doubt that first goal will be vital in the context of this game. Subiaco can get the first goal and their confidence restored. If South Fremantle get the first goal, the floodgates might open, dare I say it. Because with the way South Fremantle were able to finish up in that second term, will be essential to what momentum that they will have in the second half. Big quarter coming up. We're glad you can join us on FRS Sport. South Fremantle, the premiers, leading by 20 points as we are underway for the second half. It'll be Putton Higgins at the first centre bounce. Bounce favours Higgins, and unsurprisingly, that one is being called back.
We know they can get noisy here at South Freo, this home crowd. So the first goal, if it goes their way, that'll be a big factor too, the home crowd.
Centre clearance now in Subiaco's favour. The first clearance out. No mark taken, Martin. But getting out top of there was a fine mark taken by Mascos. Mascos sends it inboard to the direction of Schleuf. He gets the hand pass out. Good hand pass. He gets it back to Schleuf. He gets caught as soon as he kicked it. Under pressure immediately. The hand pass came in from Martin. Maderu clinch back to Martin. Martin kicks down the line and a good mark taken there. And Subiaco moving on immediately through Sokol out to Clark. And he takes a mark from right on the 50.
Yeah, good work from Subi there. Hayden Schleuf looked like he was going to get the Bulldogs going forward, and we know he got loose in the second half of that second quarter. He's up to 16, so good chance for them here to put the first on the board.
Clark, who was massive in that game against West Perth last week with 11 marks. From right on the 50, gives it everything he's got. It's not going to make the distance, punched away. It snapped around the corner in the end there by Sokol. And it looks as though he's missed a lot. No, it's one behind.
Really difficult skill to put the footy back on the opposite direction you're running from. He almost got it around enough there though, but just too difficult in the end.
South Fremantle clear out of that defensive 50. 2-on-1. Subiaco heavily favoured there. Clark was in front of the ball but couldn't hang on to it. And it's another ball up. Boundary throw-in on the outer wing just by the scoreboard here at Fremantle Oval. Be Higgins and Putt. Both have rotated ruckman so far in this game. Higgins, another tap out one. Those hit outs to advantage two, proving a valuable factor as Vessels clears it towards the South Fremantle half forward line, and that's a good mark taken in the end there by Robert Woods.
Cam McCarthy on the far side there.
Cam McCarthy, of course, was originally going AWOL early on in the season. He missed a training session, but was now back a week later. And then, of course, had to sit out through the lockdown, and now he is back, the former Fremantle Docker. Cam McCarthy taking his time from just outside the 50. That is a probing kick towards the goals, and he's put it through. The former Docker back with a vengeance. Cam McCarthy strikes first in this third quarter for the Bulldogs.
Well,
and the margin now stretched out to 27 points.
What a trump card to have up your sleeve. He hasn't played deep forward a lot of this season at all, Cam McCarthy. As you say, only the one game in round one, and he actually played Rezzies last week and didn't score a goal either, but they've still backed him in. Immediate call up to the league side this week, and to have him just floating around, such a skillful player, and not really the main man inside that Bulldogs forward 50, you probably give that task to Mason Shaw. So to have him as a second key forward up there is just invaluable. And look at that kick. I mean, to have someone who can produce something like that from outside 50 from nowhere is incredible. And we can see him push up the ground. He did that in round one. He really played more of a wing role. So that's just huge for the Bulldogs there.
27 points, 9-1 playing 4-4. The Bulldogs with a crucial first goal of the quarter. Kitchen, who's been quiet, but he eventually releases Marsh. Marsh with a long kick out towards the forward 50, but it's brilliantly intercepted there by Schlensog, the former Geelong VFL player. Sends it across the ground. And South Fremantle through Bleacherton can move it on quickly. Good mark taken there. McCarthy, who's pushed down back after that goal. He's going to go inboard to risky territory. 2-on-1. Kitchen flattened him, but he pushed him out. Free kick's going to go the way of Vessels.
I mean, it came off, but how much confidence do you get from a goal? Even to pick that pass off into the middle from McCarthy and the mark as well. So just one goal, look what it can do for you when he's pushed right up the ground there and picked off a precision pass inboard as well. So great to see Cam McCarthy. He was only 25, Paul. Like, you know, I was incredible. It was incredible when I read that he was only 25. He seems like he's been around for a lot longer and he's a lot more mature, but he's still young.
Down the line, 2-on-1 contest, no mark taken. Bleacherton snaps it round the corner to the path of Shaw. Snaps around the corner off a step. He didn't get all of it. And is it going to go over the boundary line? Yes, it will. That snap coming in from Shaw. He didn't get plenty of it.
Well, as we say, he's probably the main man inside that Bulldogs forward 50, Mason Shaw. So to have McCarthy as your second fiddle, that's just incredible for the Bulldogs to have that up their sleeve. And now the scoreboard's becoming an issue for the Lions.
Higgins out the back. Hand pass out to Donaldson, who was dispossessed. Higgins laying a strong tackle there on Putt. The ball trickles out of that congestion. Not quick enough. The umpire says, I'll have it.
From a Subi perspective, they just need to lock the game down a bit more and make sure that the Bulldogs don't get that running game going.
Higgins losing out to clinch there. McCarthy just hacks it forward from a standing start, and it's over the line again. And another boundary throw-in. This time it'll be about 35 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. They're kicking to the council building end in this third quarter. Higgins and Putt again jostling for position. Putt out in front, loses out to Higgins. Stainsby almost caught high. Higgins wanting holding the ball. The umpire says, I'll have it, thanks.
Just on that Subi bench, it does look like they're down to the 2 rotations for them. Doesn't look like Powell is back out there just yet.
Higgins from ground level, he snaps towards goal from 25. Out the back is Shaw! Mason Shaw running back with a fly to the ball, keeping himself in front position to take a fine mark, and he will shoot for his second goal. As we see on the CD Dodd replay, Higgins off a step, just hacked it forward to contest about 10 metres out from goal, and it was well read by the big forward. So Mason Shaw.
That's all we can ask from your forward, anticipation and play in front.
Margin 27 points. We can get the margin up to 34 points if Shaw can kick this one from about 25 metres out. Drop punt on its way, and he's hit the post. Oh, you normally don't see Shaw miss those. And it is the Bulldogs 9-2 to Subiaco 4-4. It's now 28 points in favour of South Fremantle. We've played 7 minutes on the Shutterguard scoreboard as Subiaco will look to do everything they can to release themselves from the pressure that they're in at the moment. The kick almost turned over. It's in the path now of Dragovic. Breaks through one tackle, gets the hand pass out to Schleut, who shoots from 25, and he's missed.
I was just about to say, Subi just need to play a bit of possession game here and get their hands on the footy. And they tried to implement the switch and it didn't come off, but that's not going to work for them at the moment. They just need to make sure they maintain a bit of composure, pass it around and get the footy forward in their hands like they are here.
Lines go across the ground and they find clinch. The pass is over the head there of Martin, and it's over the line. They're wanting deliberate, and they're going to get it.
Been out on the
full it was, yes. And he's just sending that one back to McCarthy as he was close to it. So Cam McCarthy, the former Docker, he's going to send it inboard. That is a good kick just over the head there of Strong, but bounces brilliantly there for Edwards. Edwards gets the short pass out. It's about 35 metres out from the goal. Shaw out at ground level, taps it forward only as far as Kennedy. Players converging on the ball. And the umpire says, give it to me. That's a valuable stoppage for Subiaco because the Bulldogs were able to open up space quite easily again.
Yeah, just so much space, and even the miss kick that from McCarthy didn't quite hit the target, but it didn't matter. They just had so much space. So we just need to swarm the ball a bit better at the moment.
Schleut from about 30, and he's put it through. Schleut out of the clearance was able to dribble it forward towards the goal and get his second goal and further the lead for the Bulldogs. They are running away from the Lions in this game, and that's a flag-waving pride there of the red and white, certainly waving high.
Yeah, well, we mentioned that the Lions need to lock this down, and this is where you got to start. Hayden Schleut, that's his 20th disposal of the game and 2 goals now. So when someone of that experience and that class is getting so much of the footy and hitting the scoreboard, it's already danger signs. And really, around the ground now, the Bulldogs just look unstoppable. Subi's first port of call is defensive midfield mentality. You just got a man up in that midfield, make sure there's no space, and that's the first thing they can do to try and get back into this game. From a Bulldogs perspective, well, we know what they can bring, and I think Todd Curley does too. He'll just be saying, continue with what we're good at, free flowing footy.
It was that second quarter that has really fired the Bulldogs up, and they're continuing this momentum with 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. Another set of clearances come their way. Long kick towards the forward 50. Big pack of players flying, but out in front there, that's a fine mark taken in the end by Borchet. Borchet out the back. No mark taken. Sokol is pushed down back. Sokol, lovely kick off the left foot just over the head there of Marsh. Thompson recovers for South Fremantle. Long hand pass just over the head of Bleacherton. Finding Hickmott. Bleacherton with the key intercept possession now. Bleacherton with the left foot kick. to the direction there of Datson and Parker. Datson with the left foot out towards Shaw. What a great kick. Datson was able to lower the eyes and find that direct target in Shaw. And Shaw on a hard lead takes a good mark on his chest. And if he can kick this, it'll be now a 41-point game.
Yeah, we said at half-time, this is what the Bulldogs want. They want an open, free-flowing game because they back themselves in most instances, and they're doing it here. They just combine so well through all lines, defence to midfield to forward, and you saw it on show right there.
This for Shaw's second from a tight angle. And he's threaded it through. He makes no mistake. Mason Shaw gets his second goal. And we said earlier he could thread him from anywhere. He's proving that so again today. Mason Shaw gets number 2, and it is now 41 points at the 11-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard.
Yeah, party time now for the Bulldogs, and we've only just started the third quarter. They just combine so well, and they love playing with space. And clearly in the first quarter, that's what the Lions came with, that mentality. Let's lock this down. Let's stop them playing the way they play, and then maybe we can get them on the break ourselves. But they just haven't maintained it for the three-quarter effort yet.
Higgins now back on, and again he's pushing back up forward. Just to freshen him up a little bit, should he go back to the ruck later on in this third quarter. 11-3 playing 4-4. This is one-way traffic for the Bulldogs at this stage. And there's the bounce. Miller and Delahunty. Miller gets the tap out. Dragovic overrunning it there, and now Subiaco doing everything they can. Miller clearing kick out of the centre square. Once again, Donaldson overruns it, and this allows Subiaco to gather numbers out the back of the ball. Matera, hand pass over the top. Almost pushed without it there. Datson almost conceding the free kick. Tap back by Higgins, only as far as Hickmott. Hickmott loops it over the top. Quick kick to the path of Clark, and he takes a good mark on his chest.
That came off there from Kennedy, but you can see it's just perceived pressure now that the Lions are thinking's there. It just skills are suffering as a result. Another one not hitting the target there again.
Clark on the burst, but now Subiaco through Johnson from 40 metres out. He gets bumped off it as soon as he kicked it. Heel gets the hand pass out. Subiaco are desperate to get a goal here. This is Harris. He shoots towards goal, and he's threaded it through. That's the response against the run that Subiaco needed. And they get the margin back at to 35 points at the 13-minute mark. Chad Harris getting his first of the afternoon.
Great goal from Subi. It wasn't pretty, but they found a way through despite swarming efforts from the Bulldogs. And as you mentioned, that was exactly what they needed. Some inventive work in the forward line. As we can see, just found space out the back and desperately needed that one and took their opportunity well. But that's the first real side of goal they've had, and so good for them that they could take it. We'll see if that can spark them into a bit of momentum.
35 points the difference. That was a vital goal. It was too against the run. Chad Harris snapping it around the corner, finding some space inside that forward 50. And if that goal could really spur the Lions on to have a big final 10-15 minutes of this third quarter, and we could be in for an interesting final term. But South Fremantle have the ascendancy. Higgins back onto the ruck. Loses out to Delahunty, who went with the two-handed punch there. Hand pass comes out. Sokol playing in the centre. Looping it over the top. Snatched out of there by Higgins, almost cleanly. Can't take clean possession in that one. Schlensop breaks through two tackles, kicks down the line, over the heads of the one-on-one contest, and goes over the line for a throw-in.
And we saw Cam McCarthy with a goal earlier from outside 50. He was on the ball there at that centre bounce, so that just shows what kind of tank he's got. And he's really been playing that higher up the ground, almost wing role for, well, especially in his first game, the only game he played this year. So great to see him with that big tank and add another dimension to the Bulldogs' play.
Edwards with another intercept mark for the Bulldogs. Alongside the centre square, good kick to the lead of Schleuf. Their disposal has just been terrific. Schleuf, a beautiful kick inside the forward 50 and finding Donaldson. Donaldson's going to chip it short, and look where he is. Mason Shaw takes a fine mark, and he'll have a shot for goal number 3.
I was just about to say who was on Donaldson. He had too much space, and then he managed to get it off again. So the back six of Subi just lowering their colours a bit here in this third quarter. Just too much space inside the 50 for the Bulldogs.
Mason Shaw for goal number 3. And he'll kick from about 45 metres out to further extend the Bulldogs' lead. And it's across the face for a behind. The Bulldogs' fourth of this game. 11-4-70 to 5-4-34 on the Shutterguard scoreboard. Subiaco, they need to figure out how they can get past that Bulldogs' wall that they've been forming to fend their ball movement off. Hard tackle applied there by Parker. They're wanting holding the ball, but they're not going to get it. Thrown in by the scoreboard end. Kennedy snatches it out of the congestion, snaps it forward. But again, South Fremantle with the numbers out the back. Long kick towards the forward 50. No mark there inside that forward line. Kennedy again. Clearing kick out of the defensive 50. Higgins. Fine mark and an effortless leap too. Higgins, he's going to go to the lead of Shaw. And again, that lead by Mason Shaw proving too strong in a one-on-one.
Who said Brock Higgins couldn't get off the ground? Look at that. That was a giant leap.
It certainly was, but the way he followed it up too, as we see on the CD dot replay, the mark. But as we see here, Joel, the follow-up, lowering the eyes, and a beautiful kick out to Mason Shaw inside that forward 50, virtually uncontested. And he'll have a second attempt for his third goal.
Missed his last two set shots, Mason Shaw. I often see him miss 3 in a row.
And this will be for his third goal from right on the 50. Didn't miss that one this time. Mason Shaw has number 3. And South Fremantle are further pulling away from Subiaco. They go to 12-4. Subiaco stranded on 5-4 as we are at the 18th minute mark.
Yeah, had one in a similar position a couple of minutes ago and pushed it to the left, and that one as a result was really never in doubt. It's always good when you can just have a little tester before you do the second one, and that was always going straight through the middle. Was never going to miss that one. And they just look like scoring every time they go inside 50, the Bulldogs. It's actually really good to watch from their perspective, from Subi's perspective. Well, yeah, the midfield isn't getting their hands on the footy, and as a result, repeat entries are going the Bulldogs' way, and that's giving their front six a look at goal and putting the Subiaco Lions back six under real pressure, and that's probably why they're looking a little bit second rate at the moment, is because there's just so much ball going in.
And this third quarter has also proven another story. When Subiaco have got one back, South Fremantle just answered with 2 or 3 in a row. The clearance this time is Subiaco's way through Marsh, who gets on the end of it, sends it long towards the forward 50, but only as far as Schlinsog for the Bulldogs. No, it's Wilson. Wilson gets caught in a good tackle. Umpire calls play on. Wasn't holding the ball. Wilson rebounds, swings it onto the right foot, and that's a fine kick too towards Schlinsog on left half back.
Yeah, probably holding the ball there, I reckon. I don't think he got his foot to that kick on the tackle there, Blaine Wilson, but call went the Bulldogs' way.
Wilson, dispossessed, turned over, smothered. Beautiful dummy at the end there by Matera, who chips it in short. No targets presenting in that one. Turned over, hard tackling applied now by the Lions. That tackle by Johnson, and it's holding the ball. Johnson will be rewarded with the free kick.
Yeah, great pressure by the Lions forward, and obviously hasn't been down there a lot, so that was a real statement from them to say, look, when it's down here, we're going to try and lock it in. We need some help from our on-ballers to get the footy in our zones, and great pressure on 2 counts there from Subi in their forward 50.
Just had word as well, Rowan Powell, number 6 for Subiaco, involved in that heavy incident. He's done for the day, which is unfortunate for the Lions. But Johnson, from a tight angle, it's not going to make the distance. Punch through, and it is for 1 behind.
Yeah, and that's probably affecting their on-ball Division 2, the Lions, that they are down 2 rotations, so the midfielders have had to stay out a little bit longer on the ground than they would have anticipated coming in, and yeah, it's just showing that the Bulldogs just have that run and overlap coming out of their defence as a result.
Wilson, a long probing kick out of the defensive 50. Over the top there was Strong, couldn't take the mark. Huge pack of players converging on the ball. Stainsby trying to keep his feet, but that was a fine effort to keep the ball in front of him, but only as far as the 2 South Fremantle players, Miller. And now the Bulldogs are away through Donaldson. The kick, no mark. It was on the half volley. Umpire calls play on. Datson up against the Pride Lions there, but the tackling pressure just too strong in the end for the Bulldogs. McCarthy, he went down very hard, but he caught his opponent high. And the free kick will go the way of the Lions. Again, Kyle Stainsby, who's been everywhere despite the scoreboard pressure impacted by the Bulldogs. And they can move it back towards the centre circle. Schleuf read it brilliantly. It's alongside the centre circle. And again, his efficient disposal by foot working wonders. Schleuf chips short, finds Donaldson. He's got Shaw on his own, but he elects to go long towards the hot spot. And off the ground there goes the kick out there by Codin, yet just dispossessed of that mark, but had the presence of mind to sock her off the ground, but was just across the face for a behind.
Well, Brandon Donaldson there across the half-forward line for the Bulldogs was in acres of space for about a minute as well. The Subi defence, I think they're pushing up the ground to try and help out. The midfield was going forward, and as a result, it's leaving players out the back. So, yeah, it's all falling apart here, unfortunately, for the Lions, and the Bulldogs are making the most of it.
Dragovic with a fine kick inboard and finds his South Fremantle teammate in Hayden Schleuf, who is aiming for his third, and to stretch the margin back out to 48 points if he can thread it through.
He's up to 24 touches, and this would be his third. Huge day out for Hayden Schleuf. Would you expect anything less? I guess he's an absolute star.
Well, this is the 163rd game. He's won a plethora of premierships and Sandover medals, and plenty of votes to go with it as well. This for goal number 3 from 48 metres out. Kicks through it with authority, but just across the face for a behind. Margin now 43 points at the 22nd minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard. We thank you very much for joining us on FRS Sport. We'll go around the grounds at three-quarter time for some of the other games as the ball's being moved quite swiftly out towards Lockyer. To the far side, Miller. In front, taking a fine uncontested mark. A good intercept too. He's had a good game, as has many of his counterparts. Miller kicks in towards Schleuf, went down, couldn't take the mark. Good pressure applied by Hickmott. It's inside that forward 50 for South Fremantle. The umpire says, I'll have it again, thank you.
Yeah, coming out of defence, the Lions just blazing away. They're really going to try and get some possession into their game and just take a bit of tempo out of what is an onslaught from the Bulldogs here. I'd like to see them chip it around the back and just get their hands on the footy a bit more, Subi, when you're under a lot of pressure from the Bulldogs, but they seem to be blazing away, and it's just coming straight back in as soon as they try exit. And you see it here again. It'll just go straight back inside 50 for the Bulldogs. So they're just got to maintain a bit of possession, I think, the Lions coming out of their defence.
Keeping his feet there was Parker, but just held off there at the last moment. Stainsby. Dispossessed by Schlensog. Schleuf getting down hard. Almost dragged it in, but brilliantly done in the end by Donaldson. He chips it in short. No mark taken, but just kept on running, did Donaldson. Clever hand pass at ground level. Now towards Datsun, but he couldn't take clean possession. Kitchen, who's been quiet. And Subiaco finally gets some relief. Pass comes into Martin on right half back.
That's a better option.
Martin's kick risky. No mark to Sokol, but the Bulldogs have the numbers at the back of the ball. One of them there is Strom. On his knees, hand pass out to Dragovic. Beautiful play by the Bulldogs, relieving the pressure. Parker goes towards right half forward. Rioli couldn't take the mark. It was brilliantly spoiled there by Lockyer, the former Sydney Swan. And we'll have ourselves a boundary throw-in by the members' stand. 78 playing 35, margin of 43 points in favour of the reigning premiers. Miller in front, gets the tap out, as far as Kennedy. Schleuf bobbles it out, but he was caught high. Free kick advantage is paid. Dragovic, he goes to the lead inside that forward 50. Shaw couldn't take the mark. And it's another high tackle, this time going against the Bulldogs. And again, it's that man Stainsby inside that defensive 50.
Yeah, uncharacteristic drop there from Shaw, almost uncontested. That one could have just taken it on the chest, but popped out of the big jukes coming out of full forward.
What can Subiaco do? They are looking rattled at this stage. It's on left half back. Lockyer. Lockyer goes to the far side. Subiaco have got a couple of players across the ground looking for options. He likes to go down the line. It's that long kick that has often resulted in those intercept marks, but there was an illegal block, and a free kick will go the way of Subiaco.
Yeah, reprieve there from the free kick, but that is where they've fallen down majority of this quarter, coming out of their defence, and that kick's just been coming straight back in over their heads again, but a reprieve here from the free kick, and hopefully they can make something of it.
Clark goes down the line. Free kick going the way of the Lions, and looks as though it was Upton. Drops it in short, finds Hickmott. And now Subiaco will look to get clear. Johnson, looping hand pass, turnover conceded. Dragovic inside that defensive 50. Hand pass, half volleyed by Schlensog. He's caught in a beautiful tackle. Stolen by Kitchen. Hand pass comes out to Kennedy. Kicks across his body. It's a dribbler. They'll contest about 25 metres out. Brilliantly played by South Fremantle. Good composure in that defensive 50. It's a high one out of that defensive 50. One-on-one. Road. Hand pass intercepted. Parker breaks through the tackle. The speed that he's got breaks free from the two tacklers. And holding on to. And that looks as though it's against Ninyet. And the free kick will go the way of Jacob Miller.
Yeah, caught behind there, Cody Ninyet. And Subi in their forward 50. The forwards have tried hard this quarter. Limited chances and looks at it, but they've tackled well and tried to lock it in the best, and they've, I think, got one goal from that, but just not enough supply into their forwards. But they have been good, the Subi forwards. Let's take nothing away from the pressure that they're trying to implement.
Matira. Short pass out to Stainsby. They're sending it down the line now. One-on-one. Putt. Good spoil from behind. Johnson gets bundled out. Kitchen. Hand pass comes out. Martin with the left foot, but it's dragged down, and a good tackle there by Barker, but it was high. Free kick will go the way of the Lions, and this will be a crucial shot at goal. And that was Martin, who will take the free kick. And he hasn't scored since the 3-minute mark of the opening quarter. Coincidentally, that was the first goal of the game.
Yeah, and as we just mentioned, limited looks at it, the Subi forward line, but it has been in there about 2 or 3 times this quarter, and they've tried to lock it in as best they can. They've tackled hard as soon as the ball hits the ground, and that was an example of it there. Winning the free kick, obviously, but still a rare-sided goal here for them.
So Martin will have to kick from right on the 50. Drop punt on its way. It's starting to come back, and it straightens up. A great goal, Nick Martin. That's his second goal, and that is a much-needed one for the Lions. Their first in about 15 minutes. Martin gets his second goal of the game. 78 plays 41. The margin now back up to 30, back down to 37 points on the Shutterguard scoreboard as we reach the 28th minute mark.
Well, as we mentioned, yeah, limited looks for the Lions inside their 50, but they have made the most of their chances, albeit very limited this quarter. That's a good effort for them. They obviously desperately needed that one, and now it'll just be a case of trying to win those centre clearances as best they can and set up for the final term. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more attacking from them in the last quarter, you'd imagine, because they're chasing down the Bulldogs' score, and obviously time becoming a factor the more the game goes on. So they should start taking the game on soon, Subi, and putting all their efforts into their attacking forays forward.
Delahunty and Miller. Miller gets a quick tap out. Kitchen already bundled down, but he was caught high. Free kick will go his way. And Kitchen has had an unusually quiet afternoon for the Lions. Sends it long, and a fine mark running back with a fly to the ball. That was Road. Umpire calls play on. He didn't hold on to it long enough. And the umpire says, give it to me.
Well, you mentioned a quiet afternoon for Lee Kitchen. He's had the second most touches for the entire Subi squad. 14 for him, the only one with more, Gregory Clark. So I think that just identifies how little of the ball they've had, especially in this second half. It's just been all Bulldogs one-way traffic.
Hacked forward only as far as Bleacherton for the Bulldogs. It's intercepted and gone, holding the ball. That was a fine tackle put on there by Thompson. And he'll take the free kick, and straight away he moves the ball to the outer side and finds Schleut. They are on the march, the Bulldogs. 37 points it is. Schleut looking for options, but at the moment just chewing the clock at the moment. Sends it down the line. Good spoil from behind, and we'll send it over the boundary line. Spoil coming in there from Chad Harris. No, it's Michael Brown, I should say. And a throw in by the scoreboard. Subi can get this last goal before three-quarter time. Maybe there is a little bit of confidence, but the way South Fremantle have been playing, you'd have to say it'd be about null and void with the way they've been playing in the last couple of quarters. Hand pass comes out. Kitchen close to the line and over.
Yeah,
and
well,
another throw-in.
They love that shootout, the Bulldogs. They back in their ability to put a score on the board in their attacking play against anyone in the competition, and we saw that against Claremont a couple of weeks ago. They just went head-to-head. It was a good old-fashioned shootout. Claremont got on top in that one, but here it's the Bulldogs that are just proving too strong.
Vessels gets bundled in the tackle, but got the hand pass out in time. Harris gets the ball moving quickly. It comes out to Delahunty. Releases Kitchen, but they're out of time. There's the siren. Another big quarter for South Fremantle. They only kicked 4 goals to 2, but the momentum is firmly in favour of the Bulldogs. And they lead at 12-6-78 to 6-5-41 at three-quarter time. You can safely say, barring a miracle comeback by the Lions, South Fremantle have got this one for the taking.
Well, yeah, they only may have kicked the 4 goals, but they just locked it in for a big chunk of that third quarter. Incredible effort from them. Their forwards combining so well with their midfielders, and the ability for them to stop the Lions rebounding out of their back 50 and just put it straight back in an attacking sense for the Bulldogs is incredible. Their ability to set up across the ground, and a big part of that's Brock Higgins. He pushes to both sides. He's got such a big tank, can affect the spoils, and then as soon as it hits the ground, players like this man on screen, Hayden Schloith, do the rest. He's completely got off the chain today. 26 disposals and 2 goals. And they're just a class outfit all round the Bulldogs. From Subiaco's perspective, they just got to get tighter. They're just letting the Bulldogs get too much space. We saw in the first quarter they locked the game down. They were tackling hard. That's just completely dropped off, especially after half-time.
Yeah, their ball use really has dropped off, like you said, as a result of South Fremantle getting plenty of it and moving it very quickly, like a locomotive in the last couple of quarters. Can they maintain their momentum in the final quarter, or will it be Subiaco that'll pull off a bit of a comeback? It's a long task. 37 points, it is the difference. South Fremantle have got this one for the taking. Still one more quarter to go here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. 12-6 playing 6-5 in our round 5 match of the day. Last quarter still to come after this.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Fremantle Community Bank Oval. At three-quarter time in our WAFL match of the day on FRS Sport. 12-6-78 South Fremantle playing 6-5-41 the margin. 37 points in favour of the reigning premiers thanks to another strong quarter. 4 goals to 2. And again, that continual burst of goals rewarding some good ball movement by the Bulldogs, but also their risk-taking as well. They're taking risks in getting the ball up forward. Subiaco, they're just bombing it long towards the forward 50, hoping for the best, but it isn't working for the Lions at the moment. For the Bulldogs, they're moving the ball quite carefully. They're going out wide, looking for those targets, and they've got the targets in the like of Shaw, Higgins, and even Ninyet, who pitched in with a couple of goals in the last couple of quarters. But in that third in particular, Shaw was the prime target, and he converted with 2 goals.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned him. He's got 3 for the day, and 2 behinds. Hit the post on 1, and then 1 he probably should have put through. So could have had 5. Cody in yet. Well, we know he can play tall and small inside the forward 50 for the Bulldogs. A big spread as well. Hayden Schloith's got 2 from the midfield, which is, you know, you'd expect from him. But to have the ability to have your on-ballers put scoreboard pressure on as well is just such a great thing to have going forward. And I think we should mention Cam McCarthy.
Yes.
He scored an absolute belter from outside 50, and his ability to be on the ball at, you know, 1 centre bounce and then push forward. And we know he's a damaging forward. We saw it at GWS when he started his career. We saw it at the Dockers, and obviously the Dockers, I mean, he only played the 1 AFL game last year, so he was at a waffle level for a lot of last year. But coming back into this South Fremantle side, he's got that tank now that he can push forward and take a bit of the attention off Mason Shaw. How good's that to have as a trump card? And also in the back, I think the recruit that doesn't get as much credit as he should just yet is Schlensog. He gives the ability for Blaine Wilson to spread So good. And Schlenzog himself is really athletic and he can rebound outside of the 50, but the two of them work so well together because they can play tall and small. You know, they can take a tall target and they can take someone not as tall in the back 50.
You touched on Schlenzog. He's been averaging 8 marks in his first 3 games this season. He's a precise guider of the ball from the defensive 50, and his first 3 quarters have been nothing but impressive and guile, you could safely say. He's not a quick runner on his feet, but the way he moves the ball with accuracy and precision has been a big key for their transition play from defence into attack. You'd have to be impressed with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not often you see someone of that height who plays the tall centre-half back role use the footy and rebound like he does. So he's been a great recruit for them this year, and it just sets up all their lines, doesn't it? The Bulldogs, they go from defence to midfield. They've got the on-ballers. We know they can accumulate the footy, and we know they spread hard. They've got pace. Obviously, Matty Parker's one of the fastest blokes I've ever seen. Hayden Schleuf has got a lot of speed about him as well. And Dragovic, he's racked up 23 touches today as well. And then on top of that, Brock Higgins, he spreads wide as well, links up the midfield group. And then they've got the damaging forwards in Yet, Shaw and McCarthy can chip in as well. So they really are an absolutely complete unit, aren't they? And from a Lions perspective, that's what they bought in the first quarter. They just said, you know what, we're not going to let them play their game. We'll try stop them putting that scoreboard pressure on, but it's just fallen apart from halfway through the second quarter all the way to now at 3-quarter time. It's just fallen apart for them, unfortunately. And a lot has to be said about the 2 rotations down that they are. Powell and Walters out of the game, meaning that they've been limited, I guess, with what they can do, especially throughout the midfield. So that's really unfortunate for them. And I think in this last quarter, you'll see the message from Bo Wardman will be, let's take this game on. We got to get the score on the board quite quickly in the last quarter, and I'm sure they'll try to do that from the first bounce here and out of the middle.
Margin now 37 points as we head into the final quarter. And just quickly, we'll go around the grounds during a passage of the game, so we won't do that in the time between. But Swan District's leading by 4 over East Perth. Perth leading by 30 over East Fremantle. West Perth trailing by 44 against Claremont over at Revo Fitness. And of course the game tomorrow, Peel Thunder and the West Coast Eagles. Swan Districts by 4 points over East Perth.
Incredible effort by East Perth. They only had 1 point in the entire first quarter. No goals to 6. So for them to come back and make a real contest of that one, great effort by the Royals.
Back here at Fremantle Oval, 37 points is the difference as we enter the final term of this clash between the last 2 WAFL premiers. Higgins back in the ruck. Great tap out at the end there to Donaldson. Subiaco looking to do everything they can. Donaldson, Strom it is, I should say. Snaps around the corner towards the forward 50. No mark to Miller. Miller up against Brout. Miller lies a strong tackle on Brout, and we'll have ourselves another baller. It's going to be outside the South Fremantle 50. They'll be kicking to the Fremantle Community Bank sign end. Delahanty misses possession. Hacked forward. They'll contest about 50, and it's a free kick. Going the way of Subiaco. It's Heel. Heel sends it down the ground. No mark. Good pressure put on there by Barker. Barker hand pass out. Dragovic goes looking there for Schleuf. Schleuf now loops it over the top. It's a long hand pass out to space. 1-on-1. Fine play in the end, Pearson. Out there to Miller. Good hand pass out the back. Parker almost caught high. Heel and Road combining for the turnover. Now Subiaco can release themselves out of that defensive 50. This is good ball movement. That's what they need to do. Hickmott. Long hand pass. It's some ground in to Marsh. Roving pass towards Ferroni. 1-on-1 with Mascos. Keeping his feet there was Ferroni, but they both go down. Mascos. Team tackle by the Lions, and I think he's gone. Yes, holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of the Lions. Again, Ferroni just never stopped putting in the effort. He's going to play on immediately. Pushes it inboard, but a kick prematurely. And finds Schleuf. Schleuf goes across the ground. Well-judged kick finds Parker. Parker, a long probing kick towards the attacking 50. It's a foot race for it. They're close to the boundary line. Mascos kicks towards the right forward pocket. McCarthy couldn't take the mark. And the Lions player's just happy to let it go over the line.
Well, we saw the Lions on one occasion they tried to blaze away out of their defensive 50, which was where they fell down for majority of that third quarter. And then on the second occasion, they lowered their eyes, spread the ball wide to this near broadcast side, and they managed to go from one end to the other. And that's what we haven't seen a lot of, composure from the Lions side, especially coming out of their back 50.
Higgins and Delahunty. Higgins almost pushed out of that one there, but Delahunty nonetheless. Possession out of that defensive 50. No mark, umpire calls play on. Donaldson. A long high kick out by Schlensog. I can test about 25. Players converging hard on that ball. A good team tackle applied on Miller by a couple of Lions. One of them there was Clinch. We'll have another ball up. Margin remaining at 37 points. Higgins out in front, wins the tap. And the Lions with a clearing kick out of that defensive 50. They get it out of there momentarily. 2-on-2 in favour. The Bulldogs this time. Kennedy and Hickmott. Hickmott goes across the ground. Lions looking to push it forward again. That's a good kick finding Martin. He can play on and go for a bounce from a tight angle right on the 50 and the park taken Heel. Heel plays on, snaps the goal and puts it through. First goal of the quarter going to Aaron Heel of Subiaco. And they go to 7-5-47. They stretch the margin down to 31 points.
Well, we were mentioning the Lions coming out of their defence, and on that occasion it was just a haphazard kick away and a bit of anarchy going forward, but they managed to find the ball and push it out to the far side. Chain of handballs got them going forward, and nice composure inside their front 50 to put that goal on the board. No blazing away, and that's what got them that goal. And that'll impress Floyd Wardman early in this last quarter, and now it's a case of more centre clearances.
And that's the key. That's been a key in this match. The centre clearances. The last two quarters have belonged to South Fremantle. They got the first couple in there, but Subiaco have got the first goal of the quarter. Would that be a big spur for the Lions in this last quarter? Although it is a tall task, 31 points down against South Fremantle, the side who have really showed their class in the last couple of terms. Delahunty this time gets a tap out. Vessels overruns it. And again, the Lions looking to push forward. Clark long towards the forward 50. No mark there to Wilson. Almost socked there by Sokol, but Wilson happy to rush that through for another behind. Last two inside 50s falling the way of the Lions. And Wilson, in fact, kick out will be taken by Barker for South Fremantle, who immediately moves it on to Wilson. Not 15, umpire calls play on. Sends it inboard. Risky kick. Plenty of Lions coming for it. South Fremantle relieve themselves of the pressure. Kick out towards Dragovic. He takes a fine mark. 30 points the difference. We're in the first 5 minutes of this final term. Bleacherton takes a fine mark.
26 touch for Dragovic there. He's been great today. And all around the ground, 7 tackles as well. Great effort.
Bleacherton is going to bomb it long down the line. In front of our commentary position. Delahunty in front. Good spoil. Parker goes through one tackle. Hand pass out to Higgins. Off a step. Hacks it forward. It'll be interesting what the decision will be. Deliberate.
He had the look there, the umpire. The theatrical look as he runs towards the line. Give it to him. He gave it.
Free kick will go the way of the Lions. Will be Michael Brown. Swings onto the left foot. Bungle kick, but found its target in Jacob Miller. He's just limping there a little bit. Miller's going to go down the line with the left foot. Huge pack of plays will fly. 2 went up there for the Bulldogs. Martin gets the hand pass out. Ferone's kick, a mongrel kick it was, and it's out of bounds on the full. Stopping the Lions fast moving right in its tracks. And this is Edwards, who will take the free kick just by the council building. Edwards out towards a 2-on-1. Higgins barging his way into that contest. Can't take clean possession. Road looking to get him out of there. They want holding the ball, but they won't have it. The umpire says, give it to me.
Heard the crowd there. Come on, Higo, was the scream, Paul. He's a big bloke, isn't he? And he just uses his ability to get around the ground so well. He's so hard to move, but he's got a tank as well.
Absolutely. Schleuf not going anywhere further. Tackle applied. We'll have a ball up. You have to say, one of the top 5 plays of the match this afternoon, Brocky Higgins. Immense impact up forward, but also mainly in the ruck. Getting those centre clearances out. Of course, he was credited for one with Datsun early on in the game. And another ball up.
Yeah, and as we said, he just links with the back six so well. He immediately knows to spread as they try to find a way out of their defensive 50, and it just sets up the likes of Schleuf and Parker on the ball to be at his feet immediately, and that's how they implement their game plan, right from the back. The Bulldogs, they're a pretty well-oiled machine.
12-6 playing 7-6, the margin 5 goals. As you can see there, one of the Subiaco players getting some work done from the trainers. Dragovic tries for the hand pass. Johnson out to Clark. He's had a trying day. Hand pass intercepted by Mascos. Mascos kicks towards the half-forward line. Great play by Nignetti. Takes a good mark. He sends it towards the forward 50. A beautiful pass. No mark there taken. Umpire calls play on. Subiaco can clear. Great smother there by Parker. Datson overruns it. Ball comes back out to Parker. Good hand pass towards McCarthy. He snaps from 35, and it's across the face for a behind. 12-7 playing 7-6, 31 points at the 9-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard.
We mentioned McCarthy earlier. It is a scary prospect. If he moves back into that kind of full forward role and adds some scoreboard pressure for the Bulldogs, they really do have so many attacking options. So be interesting to see whether he kind of stays down there as this season unfolds, or he maintains that wing on ball position he's also adapted into his game the last couple of years. You see him still, a lot of his tack running off there at full pace. So he goes for a rest.
And he's only just having a couple of short bursts on the ground because, you know, it's only his first or second game for South Fremantle, and he's just still getting into grips with WAFL football again, having been delisted by the Dockers. Schleuf gets the hand pass out, and it's a long up and under kick. Parker with the big leap, couldn't take the mark, but it's a free kick. And that's against Parker. Got some hands in the back in that leap. And the free kick will go the way of Lockyer for the Lions. In fact, it will go Stainsby. Stainsby getting that one from Lockyer. Stainsby's kick finds a teammate, releasing Lockyer with the hand pass. Kick towards left half forward. Free kick. And holding on, that's going to be against Thompson. Putt. Out to Harris. Harris bombs it long towards the forward 50. Sokol in front. Under pressure from Barker, but it goes over the line. Subiaco can get this next goal. You can say that they're still in it only just.
Yeah, that was the first time we've seen that overlap run coming out of their back 50 from Subi. Haven't seen a lot of that from them throughout the game today. It's been pretty static, but that's what they'll be looking to do for the rest of this clash here.
Higgins from the back. Mascos, his kick smothered by Kitchen. The quick snap coming in from 30. And it's across the face. Another behind for the Lions. They just keep coming. The margin now back to 30 points. But we're at the 10-minute mark of this quarter. Kick almost turned over. It's intercepted. Sokol with a high snap. It's an up and under. Stays to the left, and it's another behind. That is a lucky break for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, had more time than I think. It might have been Kitchen with that shot on goal. Had more time than I think he thought he did. Just slammed it on the boot, but couldn't put it on target.
Kick out wide, finding Schleuf. Schleuf by the council building here at Fremantle Oval. Out of the back pocket, back towards right half back. 2-on-1. Putt takes it on the second grab. Fine mark by Lewis Putt. Just waiting for targets to push back into that forward 50. He might send it to the hot spot. There's players screaming for it. Putt breaks through the tackle. That's great agility by Putt. Piercing kick towards the forward 50. No mark to Miller. Umpire calls play on. They recover it momentarily, the Bulldogs. Out of that defensive 50. Down low goes Kennedy. Marsh. Datson. Fine play by Datson to recover it. That is brilliant by South Fremantle. Edwards kicks it into space. Lions have the numbers at the back of the ball. One of them there is Harris. Goes for a run. Harris can't take clean possession. Was unfavoured by the sit. A good tackle being applied by the Bulldog there. Almost stopping Harris in his tracks. The hand pass comes out. The Lions doing everything they can, but not enough. Holding the ball. That's Vessels who inflicted the tackle, and he'll get the free kick.
Yeah, tried hard there, Harris. Backed in his pace, but the ball just didn't come back to him off the bounce, and that set up the chance for South Freo to get in there and win that free kick.
Schleuf goes inboard. Was a risky kick, but Vessels was in good position to take that mark. Is he going to play it across the ground and switch it to the inner side? No, he elects to go down the line to the far side. But that is an ordinary kick, out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, Sting's gone out of the Bulldogs game too. They haven't really attacked with any great threats in this last quarter. It's a bit static from them, but they did all the hard work in that third quarter, and you can see the Lions just edging out on top here in some space.
Fine play in the end by Subiaco. The kick came in there by Matera, but a disappointing one. And the mark taken there by Wilson. He plays it to the outer side and finds Schloy. We're at the 13-minute mark, the margin 29 points.
31st touch here for Schloy. 19 kicks, 11 handballs today, and a couple of goals to go with it.
Another great game he has played, I'd have to say, Joel. I mean, what you expect from a premiership star and a Sandover medalist, Edwards.
I left a stat out, Paul. 9 tackles as well.
Phenomenal.
What a game.
I mean, when Schleuthy has a good quarter, the confidence just rubs in for the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolute star, Hayden Schloith. Would you expect anything less? Only 27 years of age, out of Katanning. He is an absolute star. A real barometer for this South Freo side. When, as you mentioned, as he's flying, the whole team's flying.
Just gave away a free kick, however. It's holding the man, and Subiaco will get it moving again. The kick out towards Stainsby, couldn't take the mark, but good regather. Hand pass out to Hickmott. It snaps towards the forward 50. Clever tap forward on the rebound. Harris bundled out there by Mascos in a fine tackle. And the umpire says, give it to me.
Yeah, good final quarter here by Subi. They are trying hard. They're definitely winning the territory battle in this, but not putting a lot of score on the board, which is what Bo Wardman would want to see from his side.
Subiaco doing everything they can. A high tackle. And that's going to go the way of the Lions. A very interesting one, I'd have to say. The free kick will be taken inside 50. Will be taken by Road. Oh, no, it's Hickmott, I should say. Hickmott to get the margin back to 33 points. From 40 metres out with the left foot. That was as straight as a die. A fine goal. And another one for Subiaco. And gets them back 33 points. And that was Jordan Ferrone, it was, I should say. Ferrone getting a vital goal. And that is his first of the afternoon. That may be a late consolation. It could bring Subiaco back into the game. Still a tall order, 33 points at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, good final term from Subi. They're bringing a lot of pressure after that three-quarter time break, which is good, and locking the ball inside their 50 as we see the replay here. Nice action there. Lean back, straight through. Fist pump to go with it. But that'll impress Bo Wardman. It's been a good quarter. I mean, obviously the scoreboard was pretty dire at that three-quarter time mark, and all he could ask for was 100% effort, and that's what they brought. And probably on the other side of it, the Bulldogs have taken their foot off the pedal a little bit. Probably, you know, not going too hard, looking forward to their season, and you know, resting some of their absolute stars as this one unfolds late in the game.
Centre clearance now, Subiaco's way through Delahunty. One-on-one, front and square with Clark. Can't take clean possession. Hand pass comes out of South Fremantle congestion. Bleacherton caught high. And Bleacherton will take the free kick. Oh no, it's Dragovic.
Yeah, huge day for him. That's his 28th disposal.
Dragovic with a probing kick towards the forward 50. Big leap there by Miller. Couldn't take the mark. McCarthy. And another high tackle. This time Subiaco's way. And they have a chance to move it swiftly from that defensive 50. But over the line too. Sums up Subiaco's day in a way. There is stability in their disposal in the second and third quarters. It has gotten better in the fourth, but in some areas it just needs a bit of improvement.
Yeah, just static ball movement from the Lions for majority of the day. But I guess that was a case of them trying to stop the Bulldogs game in the first quarter and for half of the second quarter. And then after that, once the Bulldogs were able to get their game up and running, it's been the story.
Hard tackle there laid by Delahunty. That was on Higgins. Delahunty wanting a free kick, but umpire didn't give it to him. Be another ball up. Delahunty and Higgins. Higgins favoured by that one. Delahunty just hacks it with an up and under. Ball close to the boundary line. McCarthy there up against Clark, and it's holding on. Free kick will go the way of the Lions. Advantage is paid. Marsh goes for the short pass. and finds Davis. Again, dropping in short, Marsh. Snaps it round the corner. That's a good kick and finds Ferrone. Ferrone looking for some options up forward now. He's going to send it long towards a one-on-one. Fine kick and a great mark taken. Just that setup from Ferrone to Sokol, who took the mark. The kick weighted well enough by Ferrone to allow Sokol to be into that vicinity to take the mark on his chest. And Sokol will have a chance to score his second goal and get the margin back out to 15. Well, 17, I should say. Sokol from 35 metres out. He's put it through. Well, Subiaco, looks like they are back in this one. There's still about 10 or 11 minutes to go, I'd say. And Subiaco have kicked the last 3 goals. Is there a glimmer of hope for the Lions?
Yeah, absolutely. It's never over till it's over. And this has been a great final term from the Lions. Bulldogs haven't even really thrown a punch this entire quarter. Subi, we're really happy with their output, especially through the midfield. And that's what inside 50s and getting your hands on the footy, on the ball can do. When you deliver it to your forwards, you can put score on the board, obviously. And they've done that really well. Their on-ball division really picked up in this final term. Harrison Marsh is up to 20 now. Lee Kitchen up to 19. And Greg Clark, he's had a great day. 25 for him and 6 tackles. So, see what they can conjure here in the last little stanza of this game. Great stuff from the Lions.
Subiaco not out of this game, you'd have to say. 17 points the difference. Another one here, and it could be a real tightrope walk. Another centre clearance going the Lions' way. The kick towards right half forward. No mark. Good spoil from behind. Mascos recovering possession for the Bulldogs. Out there to Rioli. Rioli kicks towards the centre circle. Good punch from behind by Lockyer. Clever by Putt. That allows Subiaco to move it forward, only prematurely. The Lions going in hard at the football. Their attack is good, but another turnover. Caught. No holding the ball. Out to Pearson. Pearson just hacks it forward off a step. Donaldson can't take clean possession. Shaw couldn't get the hand pass out. He's now bundled out there by Miller. Holding the ball. He won't get it. 17 points is the difference. Subiaco have kicked the last 3 goals. There must be about 10 or 11 minutes to go, I would say. So time will be of the essence for the Lions. South Fremantle, if they can kick the next one, that breathing space will become permanent and they'll have this game sewn up. But Subiaco doing everything in their power to stop that from happening. The kick out to Ferrone. He takes the mark in front of our commentary position. That is a fine kick too. Just half volleying that one there to his full forward. The hand pass comes out. Marsh overruns it. He's under pressure there from Vessels. Socket off the ground cleverly. It's 35 metres out from their goal. Smothered. The path of Rioli, but on the rebound is Schloit. Almost caught in the tackle. Hand pass out to open space. Well, one player is limping there. That looks as though it is Jacob Miller. He's on the bench. He's limping. He can't put any weight on that right leg at the moment. Meanwhile, Ferrone takes the mark just inside the 50. He would need to take the risk here. Ferrone, he's going to send it long from outside the 50. One-on-one. It's punched from behind. And it's over the boundary for a throw-in.
I was enjoying Brock Higgins there at full pace. Not exactly going to win a 100-metre sprint anytime soon, big Brock Higgins, but really lifted their pressure, the Lions. Great stuff all around the ground. You can see the intensity they're playing with, and they've got a bit of momentum here. Great effort in this final term.
Subiaco will not go down without a fight here. Sokol from the boundary line. And that's a free kick. Free kick. No, it's a throw-in. Looked as though a free kick there. Clark looked to have been held on there, but the umpire spotting it well. No free kick.
Need to get a major from this opportunity. A goal from this locked inside 50 here will be huge for Subiaco.
Both ruckmen miss it. Punt. Kitchen. Bundled out by Mascos. The umpire says, give it to me. Another stoppage. This will be good for South Fremantle. Punt. Pushing his opponent out there. Hard tackling by the Bulldogs. The kick by Stainsby. Snaps around the corner. And the fine mark taken there on the last line of defence by Schlensog. Schlensog gets it out to Pearson, who takes a fine mark. He was under pressure there from Heel. Over the top went Road. He went too early. But luckily he's got some backup. He gets it back. The pass comes out to Delahunty. Delahunty with the left foot. They'll contest about 45 metres out. McCarthy couldn't take the mark. Ferrone, and there's a free kick. High tackle. And that's going the way of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just a little bit too intense in that marking contest. Over the shoulder as they tried to spoil that one.
Pearson.
The Lions, but great pressure up the ground from them. Repeat entries. Awesome to see in this final term when the scoreboard was against them at three-quarter time.
Ninyet can't take clean possession. He does on the second attempt. Breaks through one tackle, doesn't break through the second. Luckily not to be pinged. Umpire says play on. Great pressure being applied by the Lions here when all has seemed lost. Kitchen hacks the hand pass out. Clark takes a bounce towards the inside 50. Kicks it to the hot spot. Stainsby out the back. Looked to have been held. Umpire calls play on. Fine effort from Stainsby to get it back. But South Fremantle have more numbers around the football. Strom out to Schloit, who's added some spark down back. The kick. A pressure kick there it was, and the fine mark taken by Edwards.
And there's that composure from South Fremantle. I think if that was down the other end, Subi would blaze away with that kick and just clear it out of the danger. But they had the ability to turn back inside with the handball there, the Bulldogs, backing in their skills. And that's just the class that they have. Great effort there coming out of the defence, but also great to see the Lions giving it a real shot in this last quarter.
But out of bounds on the full, that kick it was by Schloit, and Subiaco will have a chance to send the ball back into attack. Going to be taken by Brout. Brout sends it inboard, finds Road. Road, he can't afford to waste any more time because the Bulldogs are pushing forward now. Brout gets it back. And now Subiaco going to attack again. By the centre circle. The kick towards Delahunty was a risky one. Clark with backup. Delahunty gets it back onto the left foot. Ferroni just over his head. Putt, who's pushed up into the forward line. But again, the class and composure of Schloit wins out in that one and pushes the ball back to Edwards. On the outer side, Edwards goes inboard. Clever kick too to the path of Miller, who takes a good down low mark on his chest. Hand pass back to Schloit. Schloit, oh, just off the side of his boot there. Instantly turned over. Delahunty inside the centre square. Heel. Quick pass. Subiaco need to get a move on quickly because the clock is almost running out. Again over the head there of Harris. Dragovic. Another intercept possession for South Fremantle. And that kick by Dragovic, it's going to be an interesting one. Deliberate! Whoa, that is an interesting one, I'd have to say. Subiaco with another chance now through Road. Breaks through one tackle. Goes for the pass down the line. Good mark under pressure there by Hickmott. Hickmott gets the pass out, but the umpires stop play here. Another player's gone down. Hickmott. And maybe a bit of a late game cramp, you'd have to say.
Yeah, called back that ball because I don't think they moved it on from behind the mark. I don't think it was a free kick, meaning...
That was a mark.
Yeah, they have to obviously go back behind your mark when it's a mark, so that's what happened there.
Kitchen kicks towards the forward zone. Spoiled from behind to the path of Schloit, who again was the first player to get used to the football inside that defensive 50. Long kick towards the forward 50. Ninyet was the only Bulldog present inside that 50, but the Lions' defence proves too strong in that passage. The kick towards Delahunty, almost caught by Thompson. Under pressure, out to Stainsby. Stainsby with the quick hand pass. Marsh. Delayed hand pass. Parker overruns it. And great play by Parker. Look at that. That is a fine effort by Parker. Out at ground level, gets possession and keeps his balance. Fine effort from the former Saint. High kick, it's an up and under towards that forward 50. Lockyer looking to spoil from behind. There he is, the ceiling kick out by Donaldson. Is it going to bounce through? I think it is. No, touched on the line.
Great footy all round. The running barrel coming out of defence for the Bulldogs. Matty Parker in there with a little bit of Dusty-like intensity around the contest. This is just open stuff. Great to watch.
Well, I think time may have ran out for Subiaco. There it is. There's the siren. They may have been held to just 2 behinds, but South Fremantle, their composure in defence was just too strong. They go to 12-8-80, and they are victorious by 18 points over Subiaco. 9-8-62 the Lions, but I have to say, those players are absolutely spent.
Well, there's a reason that man there is on all fours, because he has had a massive day.
He's carried the team on his back in that fourth quarter when Subiaco got those repeated entries inside that forward 50. And I have to say, that would be Schleut's game.
Numbers at the moment, and these could be updated, Paul, could be more, but 38 disposals for that man, Hayden Schleut. 9 marks, 9 tackles, and 2 goals. 5 inside 50s. Best on ground easily. Hands down, Hayden Schleut. He was everywhere, and yeah, it was always going to be tough for the Lions in that last quarter. Such a deficit to make up. They did give it their all, though, and probably the Bulldogs took their foot off the pedal a little bit in the last quarter, being so far ahead. But a great last quarter, great entertainment, and I think the story out of it is just how strong the Bulldogs are through all lines, defence to forward, and their midfielders, Brock Higgins and the ruck, when they're all playing with a full head of steam, they really do look a class above the rest, and the only team obviously able to match it with them so far this season, away from home, Claremont. So, great effort from the Bulldogs. Subi, look, they came here with a plan, and we saw that in the first quarter. They were going to lock the Bulldogs game down, make it in tight in the contest, and they managed to do it for a quarter and a half. But after that, it really was all the Bulldogs. And that last quarter there, they had to take the game on, the Lions, and probably, I guess, the other perspective is, could have they done that from the first bounce, take them on at their own game, the Bulldogs. They went the other way.
Well, they did that, locking it down, the possession in that first quarter. But then when South Fremantle were able to get that run on, kick 11 goals in 2 quarters, and Subiaco could only manage 4, that was when it all fell apart in Subiaco's hands, although they did take it on in the last quarter. But it was those second and third quarters that laid the foundation for the victory for the Bulldogs. You know, not just the work of Schleut, also McCarthy up forward for a patch, but also you got the likes of Donaldson, Shaw, Ninyet, and even Datson down back, who's worked hard. And the work of Rioli too. He again was impressive at both ends when they needed him.
Yeah, absolutely. Game, whether you take the game on an attack or you lock it down and try and get them on the break. There's 2 ways to play the game, and here in this case it's the Bulldogs that have come out on top with their attacking game, and they'll never stop. You know that. They'll continue for the whole 4 quarters. They'll keep taking the game on and back in their forward line players, because they know they've got the ability to win the ball in the midfield. And we mentioned before, Schlensog and Wilson down the back, as well as Ben Rioli coming off the half-back line. They've just got it so organised down there, and they're such a well-organised unit, the Bulldogs. And we also should mention, obviously, Subiaco, 2 players down for pretty much 3 quarters there. Limited rotations from the big hit from Walters and Powell. They collided in the first quarter, and here's some of the highlights.
Thanks to CD Dodd, the highlights of today's game. If you look at that first quarter, it was a real tussle, you know, only 3 goals scored, and we were thinking, okay, this is going to be a bit of a scrappy one, given that this was a territory battle, both teams locking the ball down as much as possible. But when South Fremantle got that run on the 7-goal second quarter against 2, with the work of Schleut, Shaw, Donaldson, Ninyet, and even Rioli, as we mentioned, that's when the game fell open in South Fremantle's favour. They were able to get the ball moving quickly. They hit their targets on a consistent basis, but also what was very important is they got first use to it and showed their desperation. Subiaco, they were second to the ball too many times, especially in that second quarter, when they tried everything to duplicate what they did in that first quarter, but they just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. Goal scorers today, Mason Shaw, he finished with 3. Schleut with 2, as we mentioned, his game incredible. Yeah, it's ticked up to 39 touches. An extra one added at the end there of the game.
Maximum Sandover votes, guarantee it.
Absolutely, 3 votes for him, best on ground. Cody Ninyet, 2, and then they did have a spread, the Bulldogs, in their forward line. Ben Rioli got on the board with a nice goal out the back. He took the most of an advantage. Brandon Donaldson. Cam McCarthy, he's an interesting one. He just adds so much versatility in his game. He can play up the ground. He's got that tank to run round on the wing, and even on the ball, he was taking some centre bounces today on the ball as a Rovers. So his ability to move forward and then onto the ball, if he can get obviously in the right frame of mind. We saw him in round 1, and then obviously round 2 he missed last week in reserves, but we mentioned that he didn't score a goal last week, and they've still backed him in to come straight back into the lead. They really rate him, and as you should, he proved at AFL level he can, when he gets his game going, he can be a very, really strong player. And here's the other man on screen there that just kicked it out of defence, Schlensog. He's been an incredible recruit for the Bulldogs, because he just frees up Blaine Wilson to take the most dangerous forward, but he can also rebound. We mentioned, here he is again, there he is, number 32. He can also take the ball in his hands and deliver it really well, which you don't often see from a tall defender, do you? They're usually the more powerful, spoiling players, but he backs in his foot skills. So they really are a great machine. And just the goal kickers for Subi, Ben Sokol, he got 2, Martin got 2, and then singles 2. Delahunty, Harris, Putt, Ferroni and Heel as well. So they did try hard, Subi, in the last quarter, but it was really a case of they needed to because they were so far down after the two preceding quarters.
And that was where all hope was lost at the start of that fourth quarter. But a massive credit to them for their effort in that final quarter. But unfortunately, their winning streak has been snapped, and they will lose top spot on the ladder because as we go around the grounds, Claremont have soundly defeated West Perth in the other game by 52 points, and they will go to outright top of the ladder with 4 wins from 4. And what about Swan Districts overcoming a late challenge from East Perth to go to 3-1 and go to second place on the ladder, or third place I should say, with a 13-point win. The Demons getting their season back up on track, a 30-point win over East Fremantle, and of course the game tomorrow is Pure Thunder and the West Coast Eagles over at David Gray's Arena in Mandurah. But what a day it has been here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. It's great to have WAFL back, and hopefully preceding what's been going on today here in WA. Next week, of course, originally it's meant to be the state game weekend. It's looking unlikely that it may happen because of what has been going on in the past week. But the games that have been scheduled next week, Subiaco and Claremont, what a game that is going to be. First versus second over at Leederville Oval. Perth up against Pure Thunder at Lathlane. West Perth and Swan Districts at Provident Financial Oval. South Fremantle and East Perth from Fremantle Oval. And then the final game of the round from New Choice Homes Park, the West Coast Eagles and East Fremantle. Joel, it's been an absolute pleasure calling with you once again. Great job from you as always. And we thank you, all our viewers as well, for watching wherever you may be across Western Australia. Stay safe. Make sure you keep vigilant. That's the most important thing. And we look forward to your company next week for more WAFL action and WAFLW tomorrow afternoon between the top two sides, Swan Districts and Claremont. So long, everybody.